All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lush, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very good to see you guys. If you saw the community tab, we had a little bit of a mini crisis with Morty, but everything is totally good. He might be a little bit tired, but he could definitely use some treats. All right, welcome to the party. I remember specifically the night that Ann Coulter was on Bill Maher's show, and this was early in the 2016 race, and Bill asked, like, who does everybody think is going to be the most likely Republican candidate? And someone said Rubio, and someone said Cruz, and someone said Bush, and then Ann Coulter said Donald Trump, and everybody erupted in laughter. And obviously, fast forward, and we are here. We are here. But now this same person is saying Trump is the most corrupt president. How did we get here? Let's find out. Shout out to Arrow. Welcome to the party. He definitely did. But let's see what the Triggernometry guys can do. As always, if you can enjoy the video, please do let me know.
I think this is the most corrupt presidency in U.S. history. With the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coin. I mean, it is so blatant. It's right in front of our eyes. I don't care about anything but saving the country.
He came in on the promise of ending the conflict in Ukraine.
In one day.
In one day. Likewise with Israel and Gaza, that hasn't been settled yet. Why do you think that is?
You may not have noticed this. Trump is an exaggerator.
Yeah, yeah, I have. I've got glimpses of that.
It is historically part of Russia. I am not defending him. He invaded the country.
Not all of Ukraine's historically part of Russia, but.
Shout out to Michael Coulter. Welcome to the party. Any relation? So I used to like Ann Coulter, not anymore after she said that stupid lie. And yeah, that's how easy it can be to just turn people completely off of you. Welcome to the party.
Fine. I'm from Russia, so.
Uh-oh.
You said you wouldn't vote for him because he's Indian.
Yeah, for president. Why is my country the only country that is supposed to have, oh no, anybody can run our country?
Had an Indian prime minister.
Yeah, I don't think it went that well.
Didn't go well, but it wasn't because he was Indian. Relax.
Oh,
boy.
boy.
Welcome to Triggernometry.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
It's great to have you. You're on a little tour of the UK, so we thought we'd get you in and see what you make of it. How do you feel? What have you made of it so far?
Well, I'm technically just on vacation because I love London. Amazing city. It's so fabulous, especially coming from New York. And then just dropped in on some of my right-wing friends like you.
Well, I've heard that London is not that nice at all. But compared to New York City, I am not surprised. Michael said, TheIndianJesus, no, I'm not related to her. And plus, I'm black, so definitely not related. All right. We had to be sure. Either way. Out said in the early 2000s, Bill dragged her so hard, completely sexualizing her, and she just had to swallow. Yeah, I bet she likes it. I always had a weird thing. I'm almost certainly positive they've been fucking for the last, 8 decades. I don't know. But both are weird.
And then just dropped in on some of my right-wing friends like you.
Well, we identify as politically non-binary.
Okay, that just so you know, that's right-wing.
It is not. That's what everyone thinks.
Yeah. In America, that's right-wing.
Well, America is very binary. You're like either this or you're that.
Well, it's either you're with us or you're right-wing. That's it.
Twitter, look at Twitter. Elon just says, I'm not going to censor anybody. Right-wing nut, Nazi.
In the UK, we have more of a spectrum, is what I'm saying. So
no, it's
people
more
like us
than that.
exist
You
here.
have a lot of conservative media. It's stunning to me.
Like what? The Spectator, the Telegraph,
the Sun,
the
Mail, the Express.
Yes,
the Express
thank
is
you.
not right wing.
The Express is.
Wait, no, sorry, I've confused them with the Daily Mirror. No, fair.
And a lot of the podcasts, it seems to me, maybe it's just the ones I listen to and I know.
Yeah.
The only TV show I've always, when I've been in London before, sometimes I've watched the TV just to see, to prove to myself once again that British people are incapable of boredom. Oh my gosh, it's like
what?
Watching paint dry, but not ITV. That's actually so yeah. Okay, you have BBC, but it's like about a sheep or something.
You're
Does that
watching
really
a TV show about a
count?
sheep.
What is she talking about? Shout out to IndieFilm. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. How are you? I think the next person to be president of the United States should be Darth Vader. I don't know about that. But it can only go down from here, right? So how bad could it possibly be?
BBC, but it's like, about a sheep or something.
You're
Does that
watching
really
a TV show about a
count?
sheep.
Well, I'm making that up. It was probably
I made it weird. You had to go and make it weirder than weird.
Right.
more boring than that, to be honest. But ITV, you kind of actually get some news. So I would consider that the only news station.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what have you made of your time in the UK? Been here for a couple of weeks. You're leaving tomorrow. What do you think about it?
It's so fabulous. I can't wait to come back. I love London so much. It's
Fabulous.
beautiful. And on the drive up here,
You know what's funny? I heard her say fabulous like that, and I did the whole. But it's obviously a woman. But like, she's kind of manly.
it's so fabulous. I can't wait to come back. I love London so much. It's beautiful. And on the drive up here, which is, I think in Scotland,
Yeah, we're in Scotland. Though, remember.
I went through a few, probably what you guys, and compared to the areas where I've been, seemed a little bit sketchy, i.e. people obviously on drugs, weird outfits, a lot of tattoos, a little more garbage. And still in the midst of the sketchy areas, just a beautiful old pub and the flowers in the window boxes and beautiful streets. Even your sketchy areas are beautiful.
Oh, so they don't have blocks and blocks and blots of tent cities?
Well, it's kind of like New York, right? Where you live, you got the people, like every time we go to New York, there's someone lying face down on the pavement or.
Oh, right. But what she's saying is even in the spots where you have shit like that going down, it still looks nice. Whereas in New York, it's just bad. It is bad. I guess you won't like London anymore once the Muslims take over. And it's going to be sooner than you think. It's going to be sooner than they think. Great point.
You got, the people, like every time we go to New York, there's someone lying face down on the pavement or.
Oh, no, I think we are so much worse.
Really?
Oh, New Yorkers, this is the heaven. Oh, my gosh, you are so much better off. I mean, being able to walk around at night, sometimes I don't have far to go and I'll walk home from dinner. Under Giuliani and Bloomberg, Republican mayors dominated New York for 20 years, and it was so safe. It was paradise. Normally used to think New York is the greatest city in the world, but it has just gone so much to hell right now. Homeless people. I met a, wait a minute.
I think New York could be the greatest city in the world, but definitely ain't that now.
Talked to a lot of British people, but a friend of my friend is like the queen of Hermes and has a million Hermes boxes or bags and the Birkins and everything else. And they were both telling me, and I don't know, maybe you'll tell me this is exaggerated, that she absolutely cannot carry them in London because they get stolen by the moped guys. I was warned before coming here and by everyone I've run into since being here that I can't wear a watch, which is really annoying. And I told her
We'll just snatch that shit. Matt Damon in Ocean's 11 style.
you ought to come to New York and she can totally walk around with a Birkin bag in New York. She might get raped on the subway. She could be pushed in front of a subway.
But she can still wear the bag, though.
She could be knocked out. But our criminals just want.
No, they don't want the money. They just want the chaos. Coleman needs to lay off the testosterone. That's what I'm saying. When she said fabulous, like it just triggered to me as like, oh, a gay guy doing that. And it was super subconscious, but it's there. It is there. Hey, shout out to Tag. Welcome to the party. Said, unfortunately, madame, you strike me as being high as a kid on goofballs or speed. Maybe both. Who knows? Welcome. Very good to see you, sir.
She could be pushed in front of a subway.
But she can still wear the bag, though.
She could be knocked out. But our criminals just want to do like random heinous violence. They have no plan. Let's get that Rolex.
Yeah. Well, so just to fill that out with detail a little bit, you can wear a watch, just not the ones that you have, Anne. You can wear a £20 watch. You'll be fine.
Will they be able to distinguish?
Usually, yeah. Well, the guys who rob watches know what they're looking for.
Excellent.
And that genuinely is true in that people don't wear nice watches around London.
Right.
For the
Well,
most
I've been
part.
counting on that with my 10-year-old iPhone because that's the other thing they say, don't be a dork tourist while you're and they'll snatch it. And I'm hoping they'll look over. Oh, we don't even want that one.
But And your career has been very interesting because you've been very, very pro-Trump.
All right, thank you, Foster, Francis. Bringing into what we're doing here.
2016. Then you were one of the first people to come out against Trump because you feel he betrayed the MAGA agenda. How do you feel about Trump now?
I'm finally getting the Trump I voted for.
What does that mean?
I can't believe it took him 8 years to actually do this stuff. I mean, in my defense, and to attack everyone, which you aren't asking, but when I have Americans MAGA based, the cultists come up to me and say, oh, why have you turned against Trump? I mean, they're just utterly unprincipled. So, okay, they're okay with the policies of Jeb Bush. I think they'd be fine with the policies of
low energy Jeb
Hillary, as long as it's the host of The Apprentice. So if you're someone who didn't vote for Trump because of his personality, but voted for him despite his personality, which is me and all of my friends, no, he didn't. He governed like a standard Republican, cut taxes and screw the working class.
Okay, so what I think she means by that is, despite the fact that he was bombastic and everything, that the policies that he proposed, she was with them regardless of the personality. And now that he's kept that personality, but he didn't really deliver on all of his promises, and they're starting to crack down on immigration and stuff like that, even though whatever she's going to say about the most corrupt president, she seems like she is liking where the policy is.
He governed like a standard Republican, cut taxes and screw the working class.
And so how is this incarnation of Trump different from the previous one?
Many, many ways. Most important thing, 100% immigration. He did immediately do the executive orders on immigration that he promised he would do the first time on anchor babies. Pregnant Mexican runs across the border, drops a baby. Oh, the baby's an American citizen, which isn't the law. It's not a court ruling. It's just been the practice. It's stupid. He can end it with an executive order. He for 4 years, he never did that. First term, he did that like day one. He's done a lot of stuff, sending out the ICE agents, putting the right people in charge of ICE, like this guy, Tom Homan, who's...
Shout out to Tom Homan, the man. Michael said, and Coulter, first of all, sweetheart, get your facts straight. MAGA is not a cult, you retard. I agree that Trumpism definitely has that culty element, but MAGA itself definitely has a lot of the Trump base, but it's a lot bigger than that as well. And I argue that MAGA has outgrown Trump, and that we don't need him anymore. We don't need him anymore. Like even before all of the recent bullshit with Epstein and Iran and all of that, even before that, when I was still like rah Trump, let's go. I still wasn't interested in a third term. I didn't like the third term talk. I didn't think it was useful. And now everybody is kind of on my team.
Just such a hard ass. He finally put Stephen Miller, originally his only policy advisor, who is rock solid on immigration. He's been in charge of the immigration policies now. And in the big, beautiful bill, I don't know if you heard about it, but it's the reason Trump was insisting on a big, beautiful bill is you basically get one shot as president to get Congress. I mean, the Democrats are doing so badly.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a little bit of sense. Adding the context that, like, we've got the midterms coming up. He's likely not going to have both sides of Congress. And that's why we got a huge omnibus bill, even though we don't like omnibus bills.
One shot as president to get Congress. I mean, the Democrats are doing so badly. Maybe this will prove not to be true, but historically, the president's party loses seats in the midterms. So you kind of have to anticipate that and get everything you need done in the first 2 years. So he wanted to, dump everything in the big, beautiful bill. And when I was reading, the full analysis in the New York Times, they're starting with all the other provisions. And on that, Elon and Trump had a little tiff. And I'm totally with Elon. These idiot Republicans will not cut spending. They won't. And I'm just enraged that they won't cut spending. And it's all utterly useless stuff. It's the government trying to figure out how to get Ann to pay more and make my life worse. So I'm going through section by section. And the last action they describe is immigration. Billions of dollars for ICE. Billions of dollars to finally build the wall.
Finally. Shout out to TV Viewerski. Welcome to the party. Very good to see us. And I'm still taking odds on a MAGA supermajority. It's definitely way more likely than it would be in a lot of different midterm circumstances. it is definitely a lot less likely that the trend of the president's side losing seats, I think that's going to be lower. But I do think that it's probably not going to be we're probably not going to be in as strong of a position after the midterms. Like I said, he's not going to run the third term anyway. So instead, let's make room for JD Vance and see what he has in store. I'm totally down, but I'm also keeping my eyes wide open. We have another election where both sides have a whole dais of people. And so I'm just saying, look, I'm here with what, I like this, what's going on now. I don't like that, what's going on now. But these are the things that we need to pay attention to in the future so that when that time comes, it's not like, okay, so who's JD Vance running against? We have an idea of where we're at, because that's the game. The game is with politicking and campaigning that, you don't know anything about me, so let me tell you what I want you to think and promise what I want to promise. And then once I get elected, then we'll figure out what I'm actually going to do. So I like JD. I definitely do. And I think he could be a good steward of what MAGA actually is. But the flip side of that is that he might be too close to Trump. And I think the best thing for all Americans is to just put Trump in the rear view mirror. Keep MAGA policies, but we need to be just done with Trump. I love him, but we need to be done. Hey, Glomdeck said liked and shared. Guys, you remember how much that stuff really, really does help the channel. It is free and easy. And guys, it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you shared just by you telling YouTube, X, Rumble, wherever that you want more people to see this. They will show it to more people. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Our center vocal affection has become incredibly masculine, although I haven't listened to her since 2010. Good Lord, I can sense her ball sack burgeoning. Well, maybe in the incestuous relationship between where was it? Maybe in this fantasy there was some transfer of hormones, and Bill became more beta, and she became a little bit more manly. Who knows? All right, diving back in here.
Billions of dollars for ICE, billions of dollars to finally build the wall. And I thought, okay, I'm for it. Love it now.
And why is it that nobody can cut spending?
Because the people who benefit from the spending, you're taxing. I worked for the Senate Judiciary Committee, and he was a very junior senator, so we all had to do all kinds of work. So at first, even I had to meet with constituents until they noticed that the senator's ratings would plummet every time so got off that task. But I was at the point where I was going to leap across the table and spray them with mace, because they all have the same argument for their dumbass program.
Before we get to that, let's shout out our boy King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. He said, I just can't look past how he's been with the Epstein issue. Probably ever. I am, it depends on what we mean by look past. And at this point, I haven't looked past it in the sense that I don't care about it, that I've forgiven it. But, I've been able to look beyond it and see that it's not a reason to call for impeachment and stuff like that. So getting over it and accepting it and forgiving it, not going to happen. Understanding that politics is still going to move on. And if I sit and cry about this one issue, then it's going to leave room for other people to talk about things that maybe I don't care about as much to get in office. So completely feel you, but as we always say, we have to take that with the context of the political landscape. Welcome to the party, sir. You said they can't cut spending because that would collapse the dollar. Shh, that's the quiet part.
And spray them with mace, because they all have the same argument for their dumbass program, which is this costs every American less than the cost of a postage stamp. Well, yeah, there are a lot of Americans, and you're all saying that. And the only programs that are more than that are the medical stuff, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, the Ponzi scheme, retirement program. So we can't touch those. And then there are...
And Morty, a treat just for the cup of a... Well, I was going to say... I fucked it up. 99 cents, guys. 99 cents will get Morty a treat. And, of course, we have the Swole Goal. It is a peanut butter night. Morty can get some peanut butter. And, of course, if we hit the goal, you guys get to help bulk me up. Look how puny I am. I need to do those push-ups.
Ponzi scheme, retirement program. So we can't touch those. And then there are a million other programs that, it costs each American the cost of a postage stamp, but only adults pay taxes and only half of adults pay taxes. So it's a little more than a postage stamp. In any event, everyone who benefits from one of these stupid programs, it's their world. It is everything. They are single issue voters. Are you going to keep my stupid program for my stupid job going? Whereas, how are you going to gin up, the American people? We're going to cut this small program you've never heard of.
Yep. So Michael says Trump can't even release the files. It's Pam Bondi that has to do it. Agreed. But there is remember, it was that moment during the press conference when she was willing to answer questions, and he was the one that was trying to shoo everybody away from it. And then he had the Truth Social post. The guy asked a very reasonable question about the Epstein files that they had been, touting all along. And Trump jumps in. Oh, why do you care about that? Why do you care about? You're still talking about that? He's a loser. Why are you doing that? And so that says to me that there is a reason that he is at the head of whatever's going on. It absolutely seems like Cash Patel and Dan Bongino wanted to release whatever information they had, but clearly they got compromised. And I don't see how we don't say the same thing happened to Trump. And then at the end of the day, the buck stops with the president. Who hired Pam Bondi? If it's her fault, then fire her and get somebody in who will release the files. That is his job. Hey, shout out to, hold up. Oh my goodness, shout out TV Viewerski with the $20. My goodness, thank you so very, very much. Let's get Lazy Morty a treat there. Oh my goodness, very, very, very much appreciated. Morty hit it up. Thank you so much. Of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Guys, that's 1 out of 15 donations and $20 out of 50. We here, baby. We here. Thank you so very, very much, sir.
How are you going to gin up, the American people? We're going to cut this small program you've never heard of, or maybe a big program you've never heard of. There was one, I'll just use
to this comment, I say, fuck you, Trump.
Small program you've never heard of, or maybe a big program you've never heard of. There was one, I'll just use this as an example because I'll never forget it. So when Reagan was president, we were winning the Cold War, and part of that was, military buildup. So there are a lot of new military bases around the country. And obviously, members of the military have children. So they had to set up schools on the military bases. So they were federal grammar schools.
Shout out again to TV Viewerski. Very much appreciated.
Set up schools on the military bases. So they were federal grammar schools. And it's a dumb name for it, but it was called Impact A. Okay, so we win the Cold War, yay. And a lot of we saved so much money. We get to cut way back on defense. The military bases are gone. They've gone off to get other jobs. The military bases are empty. The schools are still getting money.
The school is at the military bases? I was just talking about.
To get the people whose entire salary was working for impact aid, i.e. schools throughout the nation where there are no students. And their argument, it costs every American less than the cost of a postage stamp.
Where did I go? There we go. It's almost like the education system in America is far from perfect. Almost. Hey, shout out to Arrow with that $2. Thank you. Holla. Thank you. So very, very much. Of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much. Let's dive back in. Thank you, Arrow. Very much appreciated.
Students. And their argument, it costs every American less than the cost of a postage stamp.
But to me, the issue of spending is actually existential for America.
Yes.
For our country as well. It's the same.
Yeah, we're broke. We are broke. And I don't think people realize that, or the long-term implications of that. So when Elon had his meltdown and the way that he did it, in the words of Chris Rock, I don't agree, but I understand.
I agree.
I don't agree, but I do understand.
I agree and I understand personally.
Yeah.
He's right on the issue, right? But I also think you're right in the sense that this is why I asked you why it's happening, because you gave a very American answer because you're talking about America. That's fair enough. But actually, this is a problem across the entire Western world. And part of it, I think, is what you said, which is just people really, they're so used to having everything paid for by the government. They only really care about, are you going to take care of this thing that I care about?
Yes.
And if you don't, I'm never voting for you.
And that is a culture. That is a culture that becomes something that people expect. And notice how the Europeans are, oh, this is the mentality. Meanwhile, that's the standard operating mindset of Americans. Not good. Konstantin said, in the spirit of not being woke, what should MAGA's tactic of talking to the left be from here? Should we focus on debate and proving how right Trump is, even though we know they won't listen? Oh, or should we go over explaining why they lost and how they need how they need to change their messaging and tactics to anything other than Trump bad? So, great question, very good question. I think it's kind of both, because as you said, they're not going to listen, and this is why I'm talking about moving beyond Trump. Because I just think as long as Trump is part of the equation, this is always going to be the case. TDS is a very, very real thing. And I don't think that's ever going to change. You are never, ever, ever, ever going to get the blue-haired, still wearing a mask in 2025 to ever think that Trump is okay. Much less, oh, yeah, okay, he's a pretty good dude. You're never going to go, yeah, I guess Trump is okay. Not gonna happen. And so I think it is a matter of not buying into their bullshit. And when they use their tactics to just be like, look, okay, if you think that's racist, then I guess it's racist. But what does that mean in these days? And bring the emotions out of it. Just like you told me so long ago with the religious stuff. We won't even, but you know you're right. Just sit back and let yourself be right. Now, of course, when it comes to actual discussion and debate, the politics system has to happen. But in terms of other people, you don't need to go out there and convert people to the party of common sense. We're already here. All we have to do is continue showing, hey, this is what I don't like. This is what I do like. And I don't really need to interact with people who are not going to listen. Of course, we want to interact with people who have different opinions, but that's it. If there's somebody who is aware enough to see that the tides are changing, it should be them that is coming to us. Like, hey, what did we do wrong? What would you think? What do you think about that? So on and so forth. So I think by instead of trying to force them to be good opponents, just let them fade away and let the new landscape become MAGA versus the neocons. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. TV said it's not about the amounts, it's the flows. Once the currency starts flowing, you can't stop it. Yep. She's got the crazy eyes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The crazy eyes. Shout out to Maverick being freak. Welcome to the party. I thought I was going to get a reprieve, but he just changed the wording to become theists or choose to relocate. No. Welcome. Are
you going to take care of this thing that I care about?
Yes.
And if you don't, I'm never voting for you. Well, if no one ever wants to sacrifice a little bit to reduce overall spending, then it's debt and deficit all the way down.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing the same thing. I'll take a screenshot of somebody's comment and I'll put it in the Discord and see if it comes true.
That's why Doge was so great. I mean, they were going in cutting stuff. I can't believe that we were paying. I mean, it was basically just billions upon billions of dollars funding the left. It was stunning. And I don't know why Congress just couldn't, I don't know how much of this they did, but just enact all of the Doge cuts, because it's really, that was the Elon system.
Because that would be a Trump win. And that is all they stand for, is not aiding Trump's wins.
It was really all just recommendations. You need, and the same thing with Trump's executive orders. You need Congress to pass a law and put it into, make it a law.
Yeah. So what did you make of that?
Did you not know there was timestamps? Kissin is such a shill. That's who is on screen right now, and he looks like a frog. Oh, come on. He does look a little weird. A little bit. Well, Nick said, haven't actually thought about the let them fade out side of dealing with the left as much, actually. Definitely a good last resort if they can't act like adults. And yeah, I'm not saying that, just bury your head in the sand and not do anything. But the notion that, we need to fight against this establishment has shifted a bit. And so now it's not left versus right. And it kind of isn't really anything too set in stone yet. And so it's more about, okay, we were all in this boat and we were fighting wokeness. Now, wokeness is kind of not really the same thing. And there's stuff over here that we were kind of ignoring because, it helped everybody was on this side. So now the things that were on this side are starting to bleed into our lives. And as all of that stuff comes together, we're going to have to figure out what the factions actually are. There's underneath Republican and conservative, there could be MAGA, there could be America First, there could be the Groypers. There's going to be a lot of different factions. And, just understanding how those things are manifesting and who is leading them, what they're saying, that kind of stuff, I think is way more important than trying to own the libs. Not that I think you were saying that, but, just being hyperbolic. Michael said these ugly balloon-haired troglodytes on the left are the same people that kept pissed off because Sydney Sweeney did a jeans commercial. Yep. And that's it. We're past it's liberal fatigue, guys. It's liberal fatigue. We don't need to point it out because it's in their fucking faces. It's in their faces, and everybody is tired of it.
You need Congress to pass a law and make it a law.
Yeah. So what did you make of that falling out between Elon? Because we had a lot of these conversations immediately after the election, and actually just before as well, about the tech right and the MAGA right, with very different.
So there we go. Now we got tech right and all this stuff. All this stuff is manifesting, and we got to see where we end up. Shout out to KFT in the building. Welcome to the party. So Anne is not relevant anymore. She just wants attention. Yeah, I think you're right. But she was the canary in the coal mine back in 2016. So I do think it is worth hearing what she's got to say. Thank you so much. Adding another push-up to the swole goal and getting us closer to Morty getting his peanut butter. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the party. And hey, shout out to the Shuli Network. Dilly. We got our boy Zippy DSM Lee answering our running poll. Which Trump do you prefer? Trump 1.0 or Trump 2.0? And 62% of you are saying Trump 2.0. But Zippy is saying 2.0 is making too many compromises. And I agree. At the time, you guys may know, I was a never Trumper back in 2015. So I wasn't thinking straight. But now, looking back and understanding how stupid I was, I think Trump 1.0 was clearly the better option. I completely agree with Zippy. Too many compromises. Zippy right again, as always, guys. Welcome to the party again. If you can do me a huge favor, hit that like button. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe, guys. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. Plus, dropping videos almost every single day. You're missing out.
Immediately after the election, and actually just before as well, about the tech right and the MAGA right, with very different groupings. And that kind of fissure was almost inevitable, many people felt. How did you see it?
Other people predicted it. I didn't, because Trump sucks up to rich people. And he was very gentle with Elon. I mean, everybody else, sloppy Steve for Steve Bannon, and I forget what vicious attacks he had on Corey Lewandowski, just endless attacks on Jeff Sessions, his first attorney general. He's really, really nasty when someone has a crossword about him.
Yeah, but that's not news. We know that about him.
Very solid ego. And so he was pretty gentle on Elon. And I think Elon was right. And I knew if he ever went to Washington, no one can work in Washington and not realize you could cut 90% of it. And most Americans wouldn't notice, except their taxes would go down. You could so easily cut just so much make work BS. Coming up, when I went for the Senate Judiciary Committee, I've been coming from a law firm in New York, where I don't know if they do this here, but we have billable hours where you actually so horrifying. You actually have to account for your day, how much time you spent on each case. So no chit-chatting around the water cooler. Then you're staying an extra hour that day. And the difference in the intense work and being aware of how much you're working at a law firm versus government work, where 90% of the day is watching TV and chit-chatting around around the water cooler. So, start with cutting all of that. So I figured someone as incredible.
Yeah, just have the job of 8 people doing nothing all day. Just pay one person twice as much. We save money and America is better. I like it. So he said the fallout with Elon is more like Trump had to make compromises and cut out Elon. I still think it was contrived. So it was either something like this or the inverse, where like Tesla stock was going down and Elon, the Doge was ending, and Elon's like, "Yo, this is a little bit more than I anticipated. So let's just get in a little beef, and then I can break away, clean break." So I think it's something like that. I think you are right. Sounds like DC. Does anybody want Ann around anymore?
Around the water cooler. So, start with cutting all of that. So I figured someone as incredibly efficient and high IQ and productive as Elon and all the people who work for him would get to Washington and their heads would explode. So I'm not surprised his head exploded. And I agreed with him. But I mean, you can't blame Trump alone. It's the members of Congress. They have to get reelected, and they have people in their districts who are still making their entire salary from impact aid.
And that's a worrying thing, though, because like I said before, this is existential. If you don't deal with it, which we're
all gonna die,
president has wanted to do for a very, very long time, what's going to happen is we're going to go bankrupt.
Yes, and I think in a way we're a little worse off than you are, because there's so much cockiness in the U.S. about, well, we're the world's reserve currency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't like that either. Not that we're the world reserve currency, but posturing on that. That's putting a target on. Well, hey, what's Saudi Arabia? What's Russia? What's China doing?
And still, most of the money we're collecting in taxes is going to pay interest on the debt. Fantastic! What a deal. I mean, I think Doge is the model for how to do it. And you need someone, I don't know, with a...
When was this recorded? Because Doge has been over for a minute. I guess they don't have the exact date here, but... So this must have been a little while ago, but I don't think it's too long ago. Shout out to our boy JD. I said her voice is bugging me. It's weird how deep it's forced. I don't think it's forced. I think she really sounds like that. It's just days and years and decades of being Ann Coulter. KFT said, did Trump round up all the gays yet? I thought that was happening. No. I don't think so. They were going after gay marriage, but I still think that is a terrible idea. And is morphing into Bill Maher. Exactly. They're becoming the same person. They're becoming the same person.
For how to do it. And you need someone, I don't know, with a personality like Trump, maybe JD, when he's president. It needs to be a big national movement. That's what Reagan did to cut taxes, which I was mad that Trump
Oh, is that who Reagan is? That Ronald Ray? Oh, okay.
Never did for the wall and immigration stuff. Reagan got a Democratic Congress to cut taxes. That's only half of it. Everybody likes that. You got to cut the spending. But he did it by giving a fireside address from the Oval Office. He had won in a landslide. Speak to the people who voted for him. They agree with him. But you can't just count on each senator or congressman to be brave and vote against people in his district. It has to be a big national movement. Everybody's got to cut back. This is what's going to happen if we don't. And I think if you made it a national cause that you're cutting out, if you're cutting everything, because otherwise a cut is a reduction in the rate of growth. That's what they call a cut in Washington, and it's just never going to get done.
And it's so interesting to see, because it's become quite apparent to me that he isn't going to do that. But also his tenure is starting to look a little bit more wobbly, particularly with the Epstein thing.
Yup. This is it. This is what will destroy the Trump legacy. Actually, before we get there, guys, let me get 3 more likes. We've got 12 people and only 5 likes. Let me get 3 more likes. And then the party rages on. Let's go. We can do it. No? All right, well, I'll chill. There's one. There's one. Come on. They're about to get into it. There's two. One more, guys. It's free. Just double tap the screen. There we go. Thank you, guys.
To do that. But also, his tenure is starting to look a little bit more wobbly, particularly with the Epstein thing. So let's talk about...
For once, I am exactly in the same position as Ann Coulter. That. Yep.
Particularly with the Epstein thing. So let's talk about...
I don't know what that noise was, but someone's excited.
I know it will. I know it will. Shout out to Box in the building. Welcome to the party. I didn't like him the first time around. I didn't like him the second time, but he seems more effective the second time around. Interesting way for a liberal perspective on Trump 1.0 versus 2.0. Welcome to the party, sir.
So let's talk about...
I don't know what that noise was, but someone's excited.
So what is going on with the Epstein thing? Does it have long-term implications for the Trump presidency? And where are the MAGA base on that at the moment?
Release the fucking files.
Most of the MAGA base, God bless them, even the cultists, they want.
And sorry to interrupt so early. Who are the cultists? What are you talking about?
The ones who didn't care that he didn't build the wall.
The sycophants. Anybody who is like, well, whatever reason this happened, I can't just say, yeah, despite the fact that Trump did a bad thing, I still think that he was the better option between the two. The people who say, no, he's perfect. He did that because he has a plan.
So, who are the cultists? What are you talking about?
The ones who didn't care that he didn't build the wall.
So you think there's a big portion of Trump's following that see him as a cult leader, basically?
Shockingly, I did not think this when I wrote In Trump We Trust. I have a section on how nobody likes the guy for his personality. Of course.
Hold up. You got to say more on this, brother. You don't care about Epstein. But just say more. Why is that? Why is that? I'm very curious. But also, he did build some wall and gave up when he saw how bad it would be to finish. Not true. He built a lot he built a little bit that was actually working really well, but he was blocked in Congress from getting anything, and they were counting pieces of fence that were there as part of the wall, and then folded that in.
What?
How is it just, oh well, our government is raping children on the regular. Oh well. How do you get there? How do you get there? KFC's we are too focused on it, and they will never release it, no matter who is in office. I agree, but that doesn't mean that it's just okay. So when you say you don't give a shit, you mean you don't give a shit about trying because you don't think anything is going to happen. Not that you don't care about learning about what the who is on the list. Right?
When I wrote In Trump We Trust, I have a section on how nobody likes the guy for his personality.
As you should.
Of course, they're voting for his policies. It was the basket of policies I've been waiting my whole life for a Republican to run on. I'm totally for the tariffs. Bring manufacturing back to the U.S. one way. Both Republicans and Democrats have screwed over the working and the middle class. No more stupid wars, and build the wall to port illegals. And we couldn't get that. We couldn't get any of that from any Republican. So it was 100% the issues for me. But I mean, since then, I've noticed that, yeah, there's some people. It's enough that okay, I'm sympathetic to this, but it's enough that he really, really annoys the left. And I like that.
That's why Dave Smith voted for him. That's just about it. KFT said, I do care about kids, but they will never hold anyone accountable. Well, not with that attitude. TV said, Jeffrey Epstein is shut down. The successor system via FTX is also disabled. FISA-gate is the path to, I don't even think I can still say that, but I mean, I guess, but yeah. And North remembers, dilly to that. That's what they want. That's why they're doing this, because they know that in the past, you just kick the can down the road and then people stop caring and then that's it. So like, I don't know. Just I don't care is a weird way to phrase it. And the fact that both of you said that is odd to me. Shout out to Ira Hayes. Welcome to the party. He said, fuck the children, George Carlin. Well, do love me some George Carlin. Welcome to the party. We also got Kristen. Welcome. Yep, her book, 107 Days, Sleeping Her Way to the Top, and needs donations so she can get into a good, sane asylum. I was saying I would definitely be down to go through the audiobook, just, to see how fucking ridiculous it is. Just saying. I don't know. I would be down. Welcome to the party, guys. Very good to see ya.
But it's enough that he really, really annoys the left. And I like that. Don't get me wrong. They've lost their minds. But anyway, what was I saying about the Trump cultists?
Yes.
I agree with you. Don't just assume they're all on it and they're all doing it. And great. That is your standing operating mentality should be that. But I don't see how it could be something that you're like, I'm going to let this go. What if it was your children? What if it was you? I don't know. I just find that very odd. Like, that was their plan, to just kick the can down the road until you forgot about it. But it's been a month, guys. It's been a month. That's all it takes. If you don't have propaganda in front of your face for a month, you forget about a worldwide sex trafficking ring of your government?
What? Oh,
not me.
They've lost their minds. But anyway, what was I saying about the Trump cultists?
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. I'm just, you've used that term twice now, and I'm just trying to understand who you're talking about, basically, when you...
Certainly my friends and I would think most Americans would know what that means. It's not like something, I'm just saying that is not peculiar to me.
Box, if you're going to do something longer, just put it in Discord. I could read it from right there.
There is, and actually the left depends on it. That, Trump could do anything. He could do anything. They'll support him doing anything. Well, and that's heavily been true. The first time, actually 2 times recently, the MAGA base has, at least for a while, differed from the Orange Man. One was
okay. I was gonna say, what's she about to say? No, but I completely agree. We haven't really seen this level of maybe most is a strong word, but at least a plurality of the base together being like, nope, you're wrong on this one, Trump. There's always people that don't like this or don't like that. But yeah, the way that she's saying
has it first time, actually 2 times recently, the MAGA base has, at least for a while, differed from the Orange Man. One was the strike on Iran. A lot of the MAGA base opposed it. Now, the cultists very quickly came up with an excuse to support it.
I'm still not okay with that either. And I think the fact, to quote Dave Smith, the reason that we're not in World War III is because Iran decided not to go to war. Now, you could argue that they made that decision because of what Trump did and said, but I don't like how it was set up. And maybe I'm ignorant enough that I don't know how much control over that situation he had. But from what I understand, I don't like the way that it was played, and we essentially lucked out.
And put a pin in that attack. And the other one is the Epstein stuff. And again, some of the cultists are coming up with an excuse. The thing I'd say about the MAGA base opposing the Iran attack, and I was one of them, it actually ended up not being so bad. And I think part of the reason I loved Trump's speech after he said, it's over, we have peace with Iran now, we're done, we just wanted to destroy the nuclear facilities, can't run the experiment twice. But I think if he hadn't gotten the pushback from the MAGA base, we might have troops and ships over there right now. And it might not, yes.
Yeah, I'll be right over. What?
Well, that's the way it's always gone.
Not under Trump. He's never put troops anywhere, right? When he destroyed ISIS, he just bombed them and left it there, right?
Yes.
So I think that's the difference.
But we do have troops all over the...
But not
right, but he didn't put them there.
Because of Trump, right?
Exactly.
No, but he hasn't pulled them back. He didn't end Afghanistan. I mean,
to be fair, he was going to, and then the election got stolen, and then Biden fucked it up. But the plan absolutely was to get out of Afghanistan.
But not because of Trump, right?
No, but he hasn't pulled them back. He didn't end Afghanistan. I hate to say it. Sorry, Biden's the one who ended Afghanistan. And on the Epstein thing, the excuse they're using is even crazier. The ones who said at first, MAGA base, and this is not all of them, but some of the sort of prominent one who want.
Yeah. Do we think that if everything was being funded as it always was, that Biden would have pulled out, or did it seem like, oh, we're already, ramping this down, and so if I stop the ramp down, then it means that I'm continuing the war. So this is kind of something that I have to do. Sounds a lot more like a Biden war policy to me.
First MAGA base, and this is not all of them, but some of the sort of prominent one who want Trump to.
Who are you talking about, Anne?
Not naming names.
Why not?
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the button, but she's gonna name some names.
That's a good point. Okay, Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon.
Okay,
yeah.
What
How
have
did
they
they
done?
come up?
I don't really interact with Steve Bannon, but I am a huge fan of Charlie. But I do agree that he is way too easy to just kind of find a way that Trump is wrong. So for Charlie specifically, I think that's more about the business, and I think it's more about, look, I've done so much for Trump that I can't just flip like that to something I can understand to a certain point, but that platform should be such that if something does happen and you've got to turn on a dime, that everybody understands why, whether or not they're with you.
That's a good point. Okay, Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon.
Okay,
yeah.
What
How
have
did
they
they
done?
come up with BS excuses after saying one thing and then Trump totally blows them off? And oh well, it's okay. So the Epstein excuse is Wall Street Journal had that absolutely repellent and completely believable page that Donald Trump wrote for Epstein's birthday book.
Yep.
And for those of you who are not familiar with it, so it's a drawing of a naked woman. It has this, just sort of sleazy, happy birthday and may every day be filled with secrets. And then he signs his name where the naked woman's pubic hair would be. So for one thing, I mean, this is not exactly out of character. You guys didn't know he was an utter vulgarian.
I definitely did. We all did. And that is the part that, when the wokeness thing was such a big deal and they were like, oh, he's this, he's that. And then eventually we get, he's a felon. It's like, people, we know who the fuck this dude is. You're not getting any information that we're not privy to. We've just decided that despite all of that bullshit, rather have Trump than Biden or Kamala. Shout out to Trey Williams. Welcome to the party. Another $2. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the puppy. Thank you so very, very much, guys. That is 4 out of 15 super chats, donations, whatever, and 26. That is more than halfway there. 26 out of $50. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Oh, it's a pleasure to see you.
You guys didn't know he was an utter vulgarian. You're just finding it out. He used to hang around with Jeffrey Epstein, dumped him long before I think the pedophilia stuff started. But he gave that, there was the Access Hollywood tape. He said it, he said it.
They let you.
A quote to the New Yorker on Jeffrey Epstein. And look, let me just say, I still wrote and stood by the book In Trump We Trust. I care about policy. But just imagine, and I'm not being a prude, imagine your fathers doing any of this, saying any of this. He isn't admitting to sexual assault because he said, if they let you. But the quote in the New Yorker.
I mean, I get her point that, like, okay, even if this is not something that should disqualify you from being the president, it's not great. But again, what's your point? We all heard the tape. We all understood what the words said meant. And then we all use that in our calculus of what we wanted to do. I'm waiting. I'm because again, I didn't. The title of their thing is Trump is the most corrupt president in history from Ann Coulter, and she says that they have a whole chapter on it. Where is it? The most corrupt president in history. So that wasn't clickbait. I don't know what she's getting to, but apparently that is coming up.
On Epstein was some say he loves beautiful women as much as I do, except a little on the younger side. Okay, Epstein, total pervert, and you're giving a quote like that and joshing about on the younger side. So
wait, deported from the UK to Russia? Why is that? Arrest Trump and Fauci? If it took arresting Trump to arrest Fauci, I would be fucking down. I said what I said. If it took arresting Trump to take down Fauci, sorry, Trump. Sorry. TV said, I don't know, I've had some pretty lewd remarks to work out at a gas station. Well, the lat wizards, they're a whole different breed. Wamzek said, still love the meme. How can you possibly support a felon? Proceeds to show a picture of George Floyd. Wow. No principles, just positions. No principles, just positions. Said saying you're not being approved is the equivalent of being approved. Either own your shit or shut the fuck up. I like it. I like that. I like that take.
And you're giving a quote like that and joshing about on the younger side. So put that in a box. Utter complete vulgarian. Not at all surprised by the sketch. Trump as usual. It's so. Oh my gosh, he's an idiot.
Well, she collects herself. Well, box here. YouTube does not like spicy words, which is why you should join the Discord so you can say whatever you want. It is absolutely free speech platform. But Box says, I don't condone PDFs, but one, it's a distraction. We have real problems I find more pressing to deal with. Enforcing law and order is not my business unless I am on the jury. 2, it will be unimpressive. Separating, quote, of age, actual prostitutes and the children victims, and then matching them up with the Johns, and then proving these Johns, quote, knew that they were underage 30 years later in a court of law, just for 5 or 8 year sentences for 85-year-olds, for all the money we dump into it, it's not worth it to me. 3, I know people really give a shit about this issue, and I can offload some of the mental load onto them. I trust the people that care about it to keep hammering on. Fair point. And 4, to trust the government to do this is like trusting them for the death penalty. Fair points. Fair points. Fair points. But I simply cannot move off of it. And by the fact that you're saying, okay, well, there's people like you, Lutch, who are not going to move off of it, then that is exactly what I needed to hear, to know that I ain't getting off of it. Real quick, guys, if you guys are enjoying the show, the party rages on 24/7 over in our Discord. The link is pinned to the top of the chat and is absolutely free to join 24/7. We're in there hanging out, having a great time. And guys, it is absolutely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can scroll right below that video and hit that join button. Starts at $2.99. There's a few different tiers, but $2.99 will get you in. It gets you members only live streams here on YouTube, all that other good stuff. But it opens up the full Discord server. So we've got the free chat that is open to anyone. Anybody can join and talk. But as you can see, that is just one of our channels. There's a bunch of different channels here, including our Disciple chat for members only, our Word of the Day watch party, where we're talking about all this stuff. And of course, we have the voice channel here, where we are hanging out at this moment and holding the after party. Shout out to everybody in the Discord server. Say hello and tell them to come and join.
Hello, come and join.
There you go, guys. Simple as that. See you there. And of course, remember, the full server is for members only, including that after party you just saw. But if you click that pin link, you get into the free chat. So free chat is free for everybody for all time. But if you click it before the stream is over, then you get a day pass and you can come hang out in the after party and all the other channels too. It is free, it is easy, and it is a great time. Let's do it.
As usual. It's so, oh my gosh, she's an idiot. Okay, say you're accused of raping a woman in Cleveland. What do you say? It was consensual. Mm-hmm. What does Trump say? I've never been in Cleveland.
Well, that's a perfect Trumpism. That's a perfect Trumpism. I've never been in Cleveland, which may be the case. But like, just say, no, I didn't. Trace, my only problem with people not caring about how Trump was is that they all turn around and speak about how low morally the left is. I agree. Now, I also agree that the left is morally bankrupt. But for that very reason, I can't be like, oh, well, yeah, whatever. And there is a certain level. Like, yes, we're talking about grabbing by the pussy stuff. Would I want that to be someone who's associated with my name and my family? Absolutely not. But it is nowhere close to what we're talking about. Like, oh, I can't support you anymore. Trying to cover up fucking Epstein is far enough, at least for me. I mean, do you? But that's me. That sounds like Anne needs something in her box, something other than Bill Maher. His aging dick is not doing the job anymore. Fox said, there are people like you. I applaud that. I just can't keep the rage up. I mean, I understand that. That's a solid point, but I wouldn't even necessarily say that it's rage. I'm not actively angry at it, but it is something I'm very passionate about. I think there is nothing that could be, and it's not even about, because you brought up, the lists and the Johns and the who's underage and then prison sentences and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I think that stuff would be important. But even if I knew for a fact we were never going to get anybody who was going to be criminally charged, I still think it would be vitally important to America to understand who is engaged with this stuff. And if it was always the case, like I now think it is, that they were never going to release the list, then I'm also angry about the fact that they pretended they were going to release the list.
What does Trump say? I've never been in Cleveland. Well, okay, now all we need is evidence that you've been in Cleveland. Right. So what is his excuse on the birthday book thing?
Okay, but wait. Has he been to Cleveland?
In which I mean, he could have said, oh, I had an assistant write it. Jelaine, co-conspirator with Epstein. She wrote it for us. Nobody was ever supposed to see it. She told me to do it this way. That I would believe. But no, he says, I never do drawings. And then the next day, they produce like 1 million drawings by him. They've been sold at auction. And by the way, they were pretty good. He's actually very talented.
Really?
Oh, I got to back up a little bit, Box. One more thing about your last point. To trust the government to do this is like trusting them for the death penalty. Wrong. What I'm not asking the government to make a determination. I'm asking the government to release documents so that I can make a determination. Trusting the government to carry out the death penalty means that I'm trusting that the government's going to make the right decision about who should live and who should die. This is not that. And then to the same extent, I don't trust the government to do anything. Does that mean I shouldn't be in politics at all? And, the government doesn't do anything about anything, so I'm not going to say anything about anything ever. So points 1 through 3, fair. But 4, I don't like it.
1 million drawings by him. They've been sold at auction. And by the way, they were pretty good. He's actually very talented.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is if Trump is watching, this is the bit where he's back in love with that. Oh, she said I'm good at drawing.
That might do it.
Yeah. So why do you think that we've had people on to talk about this a little bit. Why do you think these documents are not being released? Why do you think the investigation isn't fully transparent?
I think it's 100% Trump. It's obviously not head of the FBI and his assistant. It's not Kash Patel. It's not Dan Bongino.
And I tend to agree. At first, I was very frustrated with them personally, but it does seem now that they've gotten orders from on high, or somebody got to them and has some kind of blackmail, real or fake or otherwise. Is there a third option? But on them. But I don't know. That's the most frustrating part of it.
The FBI and his assistant. It's not Kash Patel. It's not Dan Bongino. It's probably not the Attorney General, whatever her name is, Bondi.
Pam Bondi.
Yeah. But maybe she shouldn't have been bragging about it quite. So maybe they should have had.
Exactly. So if it's all Pam Bondi's fault, then why isn't Trump firing her and bringing somebody in who's going to release the files?
That chit chat before she went on TV and said, I got the files right on my desk.
This is one of the problems for MAGA, isn't it, Anne? Because they all trumpeted this as like their big reveal against the Democrats, and now they are the ones that are not releasing it.
I wouldn't say they right-wingers, because the MAGA base is, I think, still pretty ginned up about it. Maybe not the ones with podcasts. I'm ginned up about it. Let me say, I don't think Trump had sex with underage girls. I also don't think he had sex with that porn star, and I don't think he assaulted that woman in Bergdorf Goodman. I think those are preposterous claims.
If you just sat here for an hour and talked about how, oh, he's a very vulgar man. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's preposterous to say that he slept with a porn star. I just think it's preposterous to say that it was rape. Bog said, never seen either of them as white. The day they had to say there were no files. Bondi had makeup on, but I have to believe she was the same. Yeah, she just caked red on so that it filled in as a normal looking skin tone.
With that porn star, and I don't think he assaulted that woman in Bergdorf Goodman. I think those are preposterous claims.
Yeah, like come on.
Not that I'm saying he
again was not rape.
Above board, total gentleman. Don't not going that far.
It was totally above board. It was totally above board. As far as doing escort stuff, it was as above board as could be.
I think his donors. I mean, it clearly was. There was, I think I may write about, this is my column this week. Oh, by the way, you can read my column, see my video on my Substack, unsafe and Coulter.substack.com.
Oh, if you're going to do the selfless plug, you got to do it right.
That's what I meant to mention. I'm really bad at promoting myself.
They're terrible. Yeah, you just randomly slipping a link to the Substack in the middle of a podcast with no reference for it whatsoever.
Well, the column will show up right in your inbox, and it's almost entirely free. But I think I may write about this. Is about the Epstein thing. There was an article in the New York Times.
Mine was so good, you didn't even notice. 12 out of 10 for me, 0 out of 10 for her.
Or columnist in the New York Times. I don't know, this weekend by their in-house conservative, reminding me why I never read him. But the headline was about conspiracy theories, and I have a minor interest in conspiracy theories. I usually hate them because what liberals do, they're doing right in front of us. They're hiding nothing. There's no man behind the curtain. But of course, there are a lot of true things that are.
There's no curtain on the left. Talk about a man behind the curtain. There's no curtain. They are just standing around being like, so Trump bad, right?
Nothing. There's no man behind the curtain. But of course, there are a lot of true things that are dismissed as conspiracy theories. There are conspiracies. Sometimes.
If you believe 9/11 happened, you believe in conspiracies. Shout out to equality and deference because vagina. Welcome to the party over on Rumble. Said, liked, and shared. Again, thank you so very, very much. You guys know how much that stuff helps. It is easy. It is free. And again, it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just by you telling YouTube, Rumble, X, wherever, that you want more people to see this, they will show it to more people. Thank you. I was wondering what the giraffe was up to these days. Same old.
Things that are dismissed as conspiracy theories. There are conspiracies. Sometimes it's not a theory. But anyway, his article was on conspiracy theories, and he gets to the Epstein thing, and it's Ross Douthat. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Big papist.
Do that. I would write it. Do that. Sorry.
It is perhaps the dumbest column I've ever read. So he does this thing, which a lot of pundits do in New York. I don't know if they do it here, but it's all, they're going to be, the reasonable middle ground. Both the right wing is wrong and the left wing is wrong. But here, I'm going to come out right down and let me tell you the reasonable position.
I would not be surprised if we found out Anne was broke. It's very possible. It's very possible she was getting that USAID money. There's a woman behind the curtain. Yeah. Is that better?
Is wrong and the left wing is wrong. But here, I'm going to come out right down and let me tell you the reasonable position. And each case, his quote, reasonable position is factually false, is absurd, is compared to the left wing position. It's stupider than that.
The woke right.
So on Epstein, I'll just mention this one quickly. The right wingers say that Jeffrey Epstein was running some sort of sex ring for the rich and powerful.
Seems like it.
Well, that's a fact. No, we know that. We have court documents. We have witness statements. We have the girl saying that Jeffrey made them have sex with his friends. We have
Virginia Guffey, right? That's the name.
Have that guy, what's his name? The model the head of the modeling agency in France who's been accused. We have Leon Black in the United States. We have the head of well, how about Prince Andrew?
Oh, yeah.
That's a fact. So don't call that a right-wing conspiracy theory. And then, by the way, he ends up the column attacking the right and the left on conspiracy theories by telling us how he believes in UFOs.
I don't know about you guys, but I walked outside of my door and I saw something. I mean, they said the size of minivans. Mine was more like a go-kart, but it was fucking big. There was a bunch of them. They were floating in the sky. I'm not saying they were aliens. I'm not saying they were not aliens. I'm saying there was some shit that to say you can't believe that it's aliens, that ain't the case. Chloe said, you know what Epstein and Christmas lights have in common? Don't put it in yet. Okay, I'm not looking. Let's see if we can guess it. If you heard the joke before, don't say anything. But you know what Jeffrey Epstein and Christmas lights? What do Jeffrey Epstein and Christmas lights have in common?
Left on conspiracy theories by telling us how he believes in UFOs.
But, so, I mean, what is the impact on the MAGA base?
Hey, they don't hang themselves. That's a good one. That is a good one. I have not heard that one before. Good one.
But, so, I mean, what is the impact on the MAGA base? Do you think that this is a mortal blow, or do you think this is just something Trump is going to ride out?
That is the false dichotomy, because it is not MAGA that is going to have to ride this out. We are already in. I mean, can we start calling Trump a lame duck president yet? Can we get that going? Because that's essentially what he's doing. Claudia says, dilly to Guam Tech. I gave him my own. But he deserves another. But what I will say is that it is absolutely, like I said before, a huge hit to the Trump legacy. I think this is a pivotal point for MAGA. This is a pivotal point for MAGA. Hear me out. I'm about to cook. All right. This is a pivotal point for MAGA, because there is going to be and we've already seen this split. The people who are sycophants are going to go, Trump is right no matter what. And so I'm sticking with Trump. And then there's going to be the rest of us that are actually MAGA. And we're like, that's not good for America. So I don't like that. Whether it has to do with Israel, whether it has to do with anything else. Those are going to be the two things that legitimize MAGA as its own movement. Maybe it stays under the Republican umbrella for now, fine. But MAGA is going to be a force to deal with. I mean, it already is, but I'm saying without Trump, MAGA will still be a force to deal with. And I don't think that people understand that yet. See? All right. So this, we were talking about screenshots and predictions, right? So we've got that saved in my notes. Let's see, Box, if you are right or wrong. I mean, I think the fact that a lot of MAGA already is disillusioned with Trump, myself included, is, kind of proof that we're going to move beyond this motherfucker. We are going to move beyond this motherfucker. Context said another thing with Epstein and Christmas lights. They're built so that one goes out and the rest don't follow. Oh, my goodness. Yowza. Well, so the RNC will fall victim to the same problem as the DNC: corruption and no real direction. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. At least not in the at least not before there is somebody else who is going to demonstrate what I'm talking about. That MAGA has separated from Trump. Maybe Trump will fail and MAGA will fail. Maybe. But what I am saying is that MAGA is something separate now from Trump. That's my claim.
Do you think that this is a mortal blow, or do you think this is just something Trump is going to ride out? Because if you take the approach of what Trump drained the swamp, this is the ultimate drain the swamp moment. This is the great reveal. This is Trump showing the corruption, deceit, and perversion behind the curtain.
Right. But all of us are still saying, no, don't do that. You've become one of them. And so that's showing that with or without Trump, there is a coalition of people who care about making America great again and putting America first.
Yes. Yes. I hope it remains a thorn in his side. I mean, when you say the mortal blow, what precisely does that mean? He's not.
Clowney said, Box, that is wishful thinking. And for this one, another good joke. Another good joke. Getting your flowers from Equality over on Rumble. Don't forget, guys, we are live. Every stream is also live, YouTube, X, and Rumble, wherever you like to watch stuff.
Behind the curtain.
Yes. Yes. I hope it remains a
Hey, we got Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party, sir.
thorn in his side. I mean, when you say the mortal blow, what precisely does that mean? He's not going to be impeached over it. He's because the Democrats.
Well, I was going to say that. Yeah, and they're not going to impeach him because he is the devil that they know, and despite the fact that they think he is the worst thing ever, they will on a dime. They would. Well, JD Vance is even worse than Trump because reasons. Trust and believe. If we get to a point where Trump is going to be impeached, trust and believe that they will switch up and be like, no, we can't do that because JD Vance is worse. I promise you. Yes, Ann Coulter, the jilted ex-supporter of Trump. And Bill Maher.
The mortal blow, what precisely does that mean? He's not going to be impeached over it. He's because the Democrats definitely don't want it out.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump may have his own reasons, which are his donors. I think they don't want him to release it. I don't think he's in the files having sex with a 14-year-old girl. I think it's his donors who don't want it out. They're rich and powerful people. I think, but as long as it remains a thorn in his side, and in fact, I think this is part of the reason I need to keep writing about it, because since he has totally betrayed the MAGA base, and worse than that, attacked them and called them, for people who want the Epstein files out, called them idiots and saying, I don't want your support. This is his base. I mean, I've never seen him make such a mistake with his base. He really does think he's untouchable.
But isn't he though, Anne? Because look at.
Maybe he has been. Maybe he has been because the things that he's done have not crossed that threshold. And so because of that, he has come to believe that I'm untouchable. Because every time I did this, people were with me. Every time I did this, then I'm going to bring it up here. People still came with me. You're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and you crossed the fucking line. Oh, contact. Trump replaced Ann Coulter with Laura Loomer. Facts.
The Iran thing, right? There were some people who had principled opposition. Other people were just having a full-blown meltdown, calling for him to be impeached. Tucker Carlson went apeshit, all these Candace Owenses and all these other people, right? You stared them all down, proven ultimately completely correct on the decision he made. I would argue.
I would argue with you.
The World War III predictions didn't materialize.
Thanks to Iran.
The U.S.
Thanks, Iran.
Didn't materialize. I say it's because we put pressure on him not to let it materialize.
I think that's a very tenuous claim to make personally. But
wait, what is that? What is this?
War III predictions didn't materialize.
The U.S. involvement didn't materialize. I say it's because we put pressure on him not to let it materialize.
I think that's a very tenuous.
She's saying the reason that he didn't put U.S. troops is because we, the voters, said that. I agree that he was probably going to do whatever he was going to do, but I don't think that a lot of people being like, no, you're the no new wars president. I don't think that meant nothing. I just don't think that was the primary reason.
Involvement didn't materialize. I say it's because we put pressure on him not to let it materialize.
Hey, shout out to TSN. Shout out to the gang.
I think that's a very tenuous claim to make personally, but that's fine. My point is something else, which is he saw off the critics and came out on top. That's ultimately what happened.
Only because he moved on. We stopped obsessing with Iran. I mean, part of it is, at least from my perspective, it's not just that we're getting involved, literally sending troops in. And again, he didn't end the war in Afghanistan. I'm sick of hearing about it. I don't want to turn on my TV and, wither Iran and this leader and that leader and Shia and Sunni. Can we get back to my country for 10 minutes here?
Dilly to that. America first. Not even necessarily America only, just America first.
Going on our border? Can we care about my country? No, we always have to be fixated on whether the Middle East and Iran and Iraq and Israel and the Palestinians and how about Ukraine and Russia? Meanwhile, on our border,
did she just glitch? What was that?
Ukraine and Russia. Meanwhile, on our border, Mexicans are killing nearly 100,000 Americans a year with the fentanyl. Oh, by the way, one thing I love about London, no pot. You can't walk.
Boo. Boo. We love pot. No, because who says pot? Well, I said, Anne never had to register for selective service. Easy for women to be hawks. These is that like in comparison to what we were saying about with Epstein? I think that these things matter to me. Fair enough. Fair enough. She's a Sith. She's a Sith. I know enough about Star Wars to know what that means.
Oh, by the way, one thing I love about London: no pot. You can't walk 10 yards in New York City without reeking of marijuana. It's the
you didn't even mean that.
most disgusting thing imaginable. So go London.
You really haven't traveled widely in London.
I'll take you to Brixton, man. It'll be right up your street.
Equality says, I do have some respect for the giraffe because she once said that if her giving up her right to vote meant no other woman could vote, she would do it. Well, damn. That's would she actually though? Would she actually do it? It's easy to say that. I'll give her the credit when she does it.
Really?
Yeah, there's plenty of pot in London.
Well, they shouldn't do it. It's very bad for you.
Yeah.
What I'm asking, well, it's interesting you mentioned. I know a lot of Americans feel that way about, putting America first, which is totally understandable. Every country should put.
And that was his motto,
right? But now that he has secured the border, I mean, one of the interesting things is, of course, he came
again. I mean, yes, we've stopped the torrential flow of people into the country. That doesn't mean that the immigration issue is fixed. Not that he said that, but I mean, he's talking about it like, well, now that that's over.
It's his motto.
Right. But now that he has secured the border, I mean,
like it's not like, well, it's secure, so we're all good.
One of the interesting things is, of course, he came in on the promise of ending the conflict in Ukraine.
In one day.
In one day. I never thought that was particularly likely to happen, and it hasn't happened. Likewise with Israel and Gaza, that hasn't been settled yet. Why do you think that is?
Well, you may not.
Because of Zitches! I know a bunch of you actually believe that.
I've noticed this. Trump is an exaggerator.
Yeah.
What?
I've got glimpses
Trump?
of it here every now and again.
No.
You don't really take it to the bank. Well, in the case of Russia,
that is why they say Trump take Trump seriously, not literally. Yep, I hear you. But Bach said, I care about Gaza. Fair enough. I don't really. And I think in the same way, because obviously there's horrible things happening in the Middle East, but just exactly what you said about Epstein, where it's like, depends on what we care about. You can't have 100% passion for every issue. I'll let you, Box, take on what's going on there, and I'll take on what's going over here. Someone said, immediately do not trust Simeon, who says pot smoke is completely disgusting. Oh, someone. I don't know, but there definitely is I don't know what it is, because when I remember distinctly when I first started smoking and I heard people talking about, oh, it smells like a skunk, it smells so bad. I was thinking that they were saying that the pot smell is just very pungent. But then there was a time where I got a strain and it legitimately smelled like bad, like a skunk. And it was only a couple different times, but I was like, does this smell normal? And my friend was like, I mean, it's different, but yeah, that's what weed smells like. So, if that's the type of weed that you smell and you don't know any different, then I'll give you a pass on that. She's an elder Gen X Republican. I mean, we don't really expect them to be the best on weed. Take Trump seriously, not literally. That's an excellent maxim concerning the Cheeto of power. Yeah, definitely parroting somebody else, but take Trump seriously, not literally.
Yeah.
You know, not really take it to the bank. Well, in the case of Russia, I mean, Putin just I've noticed Ukraine is a much bigger issue over here than it is in America. It is over and done in America. Nobody cares. They're sick of spending money. It's going into this a pit. And people keep dying. People would like it just to end. I think Putin realizes, and by the way, he's not Hitler. He's not going to march into Poland. He definitely wants all of Ukraine. It is historically part of Russia.
Guys, I know that YouTube censors stuff. You don't have to say it every single time. Just put it in Discord, and then I will read it from Discord. We all know.
I'm not defending him. He invaded the country. Shouldn't have done that. But that's what he wants. He's made it very clear.
Not all of Ukraine is historically part of Russia, but fine. I'm from Russia, so.
Oh, we got it. I saw a clip of this. Oh, honey, sweetie, baby.
Shouldn't have done that, but that's what he wants. He's made it very clear.
Wait. Oh, sorry. I didn't go back far. Hold on. So yeah, she's saying a much bigger issue in Europe, Ukraine, and Russia than in America. Obviously, that's because they are not separated by an ocean.
America, nobody cares. They're sick of spending money. It's going into this up.
No, I know that, but I'm saying this. We don't need 7 million YouTube censorship. When they censor it, or you know what? Before you post something, just copy pasta, and then if they censor it, then just put it in Discord, and we can keep the show moving.
Done in America, nobody cares. They're sick of spending money. It's going into this a pit. And people keep dying. People would like it just to end. I think Putin realizes, and by the way, he's not Hitler. He's not going to march into Poland. He definitely wants all of Ukraine. It is historically part of Russia. I am not defending him. He invaded the country. Shouldn't have done that. But that.
Sure about that? You sure about that? Now, again, I'm not Mr. Global Politics, so I didn't know this, but.
Ukraine. And by the way, he's not Hitler. He's not going to march into Poland. He definitely wants all of Ukraine. It is historically part of Russia. I am not defending him. He invaded the country. Shouldn't have done that. But that's what he wants. He's made it very clear.
Not all of Ukraine is historically part of Russia, but fine. I'm from Russia, so.
I did not pause the video. Let's see how long. She just froze talking about a synth or whatever. She just fucking.
But fine.
Come on.
He's made it very clear.
Not all of Ukraine is historically part of Russia, but fine. I'm from Russia, so.
Eight full seconds. Yeah, I don't censor shit. Like, you can say whatever the hell you want. And then if YouTube doesn't like it, then like I said, if you say something you think maybe, I don't know if this is going to get through, just Control A, Control C, or just if you're on your phone, hold on, copy it, see if it goes through. If it doesn't go through, then you've already got it copied right there. Come on. Hey, shout out to Matthew King. Welcome to the party. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, not Russia. There you go. And again, I wouldn't have caught that. The funny part is her being like, She could have easily been like, oh, yeah. But she was weird. The Byvance lost its kick for a second. Yikes.
Ukraine's historically part of Russia, but fine. I'm from Russia, so.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Where did the word for Ukraine come from?
It means border.
Oh, she's doubling down.
Where did the word for Ukraine come from?
It means borderland.
There's a Russian word, and it was something like Ukraine or something. I'm talking
Ukraine, but that's a Ukrainian word. It means borderland. So Western Ukraine used to be part of Poland. Eastern Ukraine was part of Russia. And most of southern Ukraine.
Okay, I'm not believing you, but
You're not believing?
No.
Honey, take the L.
Why not? What do you mean you're not believing me?
I want to go look.
Because I'm a woman.
Look it up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. So anyway, he wants it all.
He does.
And England and Spain France and Germany aren't going to be funding Ukraine the way the U.S. was. The U.S. does not want to keep funding Ukraine, so I think Putin just sees his opportunity. He's going to keep on going. And Trump did not expect that. He thought, let's end it. A lot of Russians are being killed. Now I think he's just moved on and doesn't care. So that's it with that one.
What does that mean? He's moved on and he doesn't care, so that's it with that one? What's it?
And wait, what were we on the MAGA? Oh, Epstein. So as long as it's a thorn in his side, he does keep giving us a lot of good stuff to try to distract the MAGA base. I mean, stepped up quite a bit. I've
the Russiagate files.
Barely been keeping up with U.S. news, but I've been reading, sort of skimming the New York Times every day. And every day it's another Christmas gift to the MAGA base.
Like, how do you mean? What do you mean by Christmas?
Yeah, that's a great point. If Joy Reid still had a show, we definitely would have seen that clip on it.
And every day it's another Christmas gift to the MAGA base.
Like, how do you mean? What do you mean by Christmas gift?
What was the one?
Yeah, what else was there? There was the Russiagate files where they dropped like, see, it was Hillary and Obama. And then there was something, another bigger thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, proving that it was a distraction. It didn't really matter because I don't remember what it is. Shout out to Sean Pica. Welcome to the party. And said, no, not all of Ukraine was historically part of Russia, though parts of it were under Russian control at different times. Yeah, and that's a very easy thing to mix up. It's not something I would expect everybody to just know off the top of their head. But she got so offended. So offended. Welcome to the party, Sean.
By Christmas gift.
What was the one?
Yes.
It's a really good one today. Way less spending on global warming. That has basically just been slashed from the government. So that's today. Yesterday, okay, maybe
you're calling that a distraction from Epstein? Is that not just doing more politics? That was already something that Trump and Republicans already wanted. So are you now saying that because Trump did something that his base didn't like, that anything that he does after that the base does like, he's only doing it as a distraction? That seems kind of reductive and stupid.
Maybe I won't do it chronologically day by day. The other one was, and I'm shocked that no other Republican president has done this, the national parks and monuments have to take out all the anti-American crap. And the New York Times trying to scare its readers into, this massive, horrible censor.
The auto pen. Yep, the auto pen stuff. Do we have anything with aliens since the most recent Epstein thing? I don't think so. But definitely the auto pen scandal.
And we're losing our history. They had an article of the stuff that's being taken out. So this is supposed to make the average reader think, oh my gosh, how can they take that out? And everyone it makes your head explode. I can't believe they had this in a national park. Anything about it, there was some the horse. Maybe it was the little horses in South Carolina or something, but there's a description of little horses.
Honey, if you need notes, then bring notes. Again, I don't expect everybody to know all of the everything. But if you're going to talk about it, then know what the fuck you're talking about.
And of course, climate change has made their habitat more difficult. Every single hero in the United States, you need a full page on what the guy thought of slavery. John Muir, the father of our national parks. You guys probably, he was a big naturalist, big hero. Our national parks are beautiful. You have much more beautiful buildings. But boy, we have beautiful national parks. His is
thanks to who? Okay, who would you say? Because this is a genuine question, but I know that it was relatively early in the westward expansion of the country that somebody, I don't know if it was a president, I don't know who it was, but just the idea of hold on, we're expanding westward and we're taking over all of this, colonizing this whole land. Let's save some land to just be nature and be pretty. Does anybody know? I mean, was it that guy that they just put up? I'm not sure, but that notion, I think it just doesn't have a counterpart as to how important that is, especially for people who live in the cities, to be able to go in your own country and somewhere that's nature. I think that's a big deal.
Said me.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was big with that. Was that his thing? I don't remember, but I definitely remember Teddy Roosevelt. And then what was the guy they just said? John Muir. Oh, father of national parks. There you go. So I mean, I don't know if he was. You get it. I appreciate this this mentality.
I mean, he was a big naturalist, big hero. Our national parks are beautiful. You have much more beautiful buildings. But boy, we have beautiful national.
Would you pay for an Ann Coulter OF account?
Parks. His is said mean things about was it even blacks? It was Indians, our Indians, American Indians, and somebody else. Maybe it was just Indians. By the Liberty Bell, there was something about, now at the time, there were a lot of enslaved people. Can you please just give the history without ever...
Hey, roads are, I would argue that roads have caused a lot more conflict than any other singular thing, probably than religion. Don't hold me to that. But trade routes and stuff like that has always been a huge deal. I'm rewatching this show with Jason Momoa on Netflix called Frontier. It's three seasons, but it's only 6 episodes per season. And it's like great value Game of Thrones. So it takes place during the fur trade, the late 1800s, or like a little bit before that. And it's not about trading fur and stuff in the same way that Game of Thrones isn't really about dragons. It's about the political dealings of people in that time period. And of course, this is not, just Middle Earth. This is America and Montreal in the 1850s or whatever. Really good show. Really good show. You guys should check it out.
Time there were a lot of enslaved people. Can you please just give the history without everything being a reminder of slavery? So okay, that's one thing. Those are all going to be removed. Can't believe a Republican president hasn't done this before now. There's another one this week. Anyways, it's things like that you probably don't care about.
No. I find it interesting because of the way he's maneuvering himself. The thing that I've always found very interesting, but I actually found it quite annoying, if I'm being honest, is the way that Republicans, or nobody on the right, who preached about corruption and the corruption that in the Biden administration, which there was a lot of, and we don't need to go into it because we all know what it was. Mm-hmm. Yet when Trump releases his meme coin, which to me is just outrageous, everybody's like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, is it?
Everybody. Well, okay, actually, I think everybody was like, oh, that's fine, because we saw how stupid it was and that most people aren't. I mean, I get the point. But to compare Biden's corruption within the government and Donald Trump having the Trump coin, not really the same thing. Shout out to Josie. Welcome to the party. And I apologize profusely. Full screen. Josie, I apologize. Because I have to be the one to introduce you to Ann Coulter. This is Ann Coulter. She was one of the first Trump supporters. She got laughed at, or it might have even been 2015, but early 2016, she was on Bill Maher's show, and they were asking, who do we think that the Republican candidate is going to be? And people were saying Rubio and Cruz and Jeb Bush, and she was like, Donald Trump. And she said it with her whole chest, and everybody laughed at her, including myself. And she was right. Now she's on some other shit. I don't know, but welcome to the party.
Which to me is just outrageous. Everybody's like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, is it?
Can't disagree with you. I mean, it's hilarious. I think this is the most corrupt.
Okay, good. We agree that it's bad and that it's outrageous. What was the hilarious part of the Biden corruption? Okay. Just putting that out there.
Presidency in U.S. history with the money they are raking in.
There you go. It's not clickbait. She fucking said it.
I'm like, is it?
Can't disagree with you. I mean, it's hilarious. I think this is the most corrupt presidency in U.S. history. with the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coin. I mean, it is so
yeah, because the NFTs brought in so much money, so much more money than USAID. What are you talking about, bitch?
Blatant, it's right in front of our eyes. And the funny thing about I don't care as long as we get a wall and mass deportations. If I have not made that clear, I don't care about anything but saving the country. We'll deal with, future presidents being corrupt. I mean,
that was funny. What was it? Sam Brighton? Is that the person?
It's corrupt in the sense that he I should probably modify what I just said. It's corrupt in the sense that he's using the presidency to rake in so much money, which I believe is.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that politicians are trying to enrich themselves?
Oh, hell no.
And I was with you, but when you talk about politicians enriching themselves, I don't know if I can follow you that far. Come on. Yeah. How is that the most corrupt? I would argue it's the least corrupt. I don't really know. But
the presidency to rake in so much money, which I believe is technically an ethics violation, but he isn't.
Technically. Sounds like an ethics violation to me.
But I think it's better than, for example, not releasing the Epstein files because in a trade-off with his donors. Okay, give me $100 million and I won't release them. I mean, that hasn't come to light, but
that would be the end. That would be like right now. I've removed my MAGA hat, but I still openly support him and stand behind my vote. But if it came out that somebody as rich as Donald Trump took, especially less than $1 billion to cover that up, I would never, ever, 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 ever forgive that. Yeah, I remember her from one of the Comedy Central roasts. I guess she doesn't believe in the Holocaust. Yeah, she's got a lot going on up there. I don't remember. I remember what you're talking about because people were ripping into her. I don't remember whose roast that was, but yeah. Shocked, I tell you. I can smell the desperation.
Off with his donors. Okay, give me $100 million, and
I need to make. She also got a weird affect. It's not an accent, but she just said like when she said she compared something.
I think it's better than.
I think it's better than THEYAN. Than, and she does that with a lot of words.
Ethics violation to me.
But I think it's better than, for example, not releasing the Epstein files because in a trade-off with his donors. Okay, give me $100 million and I won't release them. I mean, that hasn't come to light, but I'm just saying that right now he is just, as far as we know, just raking in the money to benefit himself and his family. He is pushing the MAGA policies and I mean,
well, there you go. So we have people who are going to try and enrich themselves and not push MAGA policies. And then we have somebody who's going to try and enrich themselves and push MAGA policies. Those are your options. Those have been the options. Those have been the options that we've understood since day one. Or, I mean, I didn't understand them in day one, but you fucking did. So what the fuck happened?
I thought this, and I think I said it publicly. I think on my Substack with Mickey Kaus because he asked me now if you liked Joe Biden's policies, would you care about this Hunter Biden stuff? And we both agreed that I think most Americans wouldn't care if you.
I already don't care. I cared about the story being suppressed, but again, this is the type of person who gets into the political world.
Like the policies. Well, because that was another one. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. That was just to benefit the Biden family.
Okay. I'd see my.
So anything that would piss you off.
Pushback to that is corruption is a cancer. And if you let it spread unchecked and you do not challenge it, it permeates into every facet of society and society eventually collapses, which is what I've seen in Venezuela.
But no, No, I mean, we're talking about the immigration policies, the border policies, the economic policies. What do you mean? No, I was fucking joking. Relax. But because are you genuinely not understanding what she is referring to when she says a MAGA policy? It'd be a policy that MAGA has been pushing for.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. I think the most corrupt, actually. Yeah, Venezuela.
Congratulations.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Motor capital of the world as well. Perfect. But so when I see...
Okay, I will steel man you. Everybody's talking about MAGA policies in general, but you want to be more specific about what a MAGA policy is, and I just told you, and then it's a fair question, but I answered it. Unless I didn't, in which case you can say that doesn't answer my question. Here's why.
I find what you're saying, Anne, as a Republican and as a conservative, quite shocking, if I'm being honest, because if we don't challenge corruption at the helm and the highest possible echelon, you're basically giving it a free pass, aren't you?
No, I agree with that.
Bucks, I was joking. You're the resident liberal. That was the joke.
In principle, and you're totally nailing me on it, and I'm probably blushing now, but our country is so much further gone.
So you're happy with what's going on with ICE in LA?
Than yours is.
Ooh, okay. Hold on. Let's actually. No, I think you guys will agree. Hold on. I got a side quest. No, one. See, told ya. Where is it? Told ya. But that reminds me of a side quest about DC. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna try and find it. Hold on.
Our country is so much further gone than yours is. I thought it when I wrote Adios
I disagree with that.
America in 2015 about immigration, not just illegal immigration, all immigration. Since 1970, we have been hauling in the third world hand over fist. I mean, 90% of our legal immigrants are from the third world.
Yes. For once. X-Search actually worked for it. Worked for me. There we go. We'll back this up in a second. But so a lot of people have been talking about, how evil Trump is for sending the National Guard to DC and rounding people up, and it's so authoritarian. And you hear all this this rhetoric about how bad it is. But let's take a little peek.
These two fucking punks are up to no good!
She could be in a metal band.
This lady just came out of absolutely nowhere. She started yelling all sorts of things. She didn't even know what that guy got arrested for. Meanwhile, as we were walking, I'll show you guys right now, we walked past a bunch of homeless people. They weren't arresting just the homeless people. They could have came by and taken the homeless people off like the news has been saying, but no, they arrested the guy that was selling the drugs to the homeless people.
So not just rounding up homeless people, arresting the drug dealers and leaving regular homeless people alone.
Has been saying, but no, they arrested the guy that was selling the drugs to the homeless people. Have they came by and tried to take you guys off the streets?
They've been respectful.
They have not been aggressive or anything.
They have not been aggressive or anything.
Well, that's good to hear, because they just took off a drug dealer from the streets.
That's all they want. All they want is the drug dealers off the street and the people who die. That's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want. They're not trying to fuck with the homeless. They want the drug dealers and the guns off the street.
Yeah.
You can't tell everybody that, but they only want the guns and the drugs. They already found that out. They came to jump out the same way. All they want is the guns and the drugs off the street.
So what has the law enforcement said to you guys coming through here? Because that lady just came here, she was yelling at the police, but meanwhile, we just saw them arrest a drug dealer, and she's yelling at, saying they're taking away the homeless people.
They didn't say anything. They walked by respectfully.
I did not expect that voice. Sorry. Okay.
They didn't give anybody any issues. I don't have a problem with law enforcement.
And should people be angry that they just took a drug dealer off the street?
No, it shouldn't be. I'm happy that DC is being cleaned up. And
Yeah. These are the people that liberals are getting offended on behalf. Yep. You can be fat and homeless in America, Jack. You can be fat and homeless. But point being, it's not going after homeless people. It is going after crime. Sean said, in old times, if you were in jail, you'd have had a friend or family bring you food to eat. Really? I didn't know that. I know that they used to serve lobster in jail because it used to be, I don't, but that used to be like throwaway food. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's real, but let's finish this up and head back to the party. I saw you guys said some stuff. I did not miss that. But we're going to jump back in and
Drug deal off the street?
No, it shouldn't be. I'm happy that DC is being cleaned up. And I'm not going to blame it on racism or anything.
Did that lady wake you up?
Of course, it's a disturbance because she was provoking on purpose. And, you always got people out here, they say they're for a cause. But, I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. It's very peaceful. The police don't
it's peaceful, except for her.
have sirens going or anything else. And they were just decently speaking with people. But there's always people that will try to cause a problem deliberately.
Well, we hope you have a great rest of your night and fall asleep well.
I hope so, too. I hope she doesn't come back on that blowhorn.
I hope the liberals don't come back. I hope the people who are advocating for me don't come back because they are making things worse. Let's see if there's anything else from right here. Oh, we got a 15-second now as of 31 minutes ago. DC streets are regularly overrun by youths who terrorize the community are totally quiet tonight.
Right, it is. Strangely empty.
Let's do one more. If we got one more. Federalism roasting leftists who are harassing cops on the street of DC. Spotted in the Navy Yard. Oh, honey, you on the wrong side of history. You on the wrong side of history. Oh, my goodness. So, point being that both in this case as well as what's going on in LA, it is a lot of bullshit propaganda that is meant to obfuscate what's really happening. And it is very clear that there are people who do not want to make America great again. I missed that. The ICE agent, you could eat a salad. Oh! Dilly dilly to ice. All right. Let's back this up a little bit. And let's see what you guys were saying about this.
On than yours is. I thought it when I wrote Adios America in 2015 about immigration, not just illegal immigration, all immigration. Since 1970, we have been hauling in the third world hand over fist. I mean, 90% of our legal immigrants are from the third world. Yeah, try to immigrate from Western Europe. It was a specific design by the Democrats to change the country more in their favor, and happened to wreck the country at the same time. We're down to, I mean, this is something else that we can look up and get the actual number on. We're down to, from like 1620 up until 1970, the country was 80 to 90% white, 10 to 20% black. That.
What was this for? I missed it, but
country was 80 to 90% white, 10 to 20% black. Those are foundational Americans, and the 1970 population overwhelmingly traced its ancestry back to colonial times. We're now down to, it's about 13% black, so that hasn't changed that much. We're now down to, I think, around 57% white Americans. And by the way, they include a lot of Hispanics in white. And people all
right, but Box, you're saying this as if we were going to throw money at these homeless people and then they would no longer be homeless. And we know that that's not the case from years and years and years and years of homeless advocacy in places like LA. Billions of dollars go in and nothing comes out except more homeless people. Oh, she's a farther gone than Britain. Are we all? Yeah, I don't think so.
Always talk about, and I'm sorry, but the president of Singapore was right. People do vote their ethnicity. The Democrats were right. Bringing in third world immigrants got them a lot of votes. Maybe we can change in the future.
Yeah, but now with they're the ones that are taking the office away from the white people.
Maybe it takes about 100 years.
Wait, didn't Hispanics break for Trump this election?
Nope.
No?
Big fat lie.
Really? All right. Let's check with our good friend ChatGPT. And Coulter said that Latinos did not, in fact, come on. Can't find. In fact, go in. Oh, what? Hey, yo! Peacemaker's out. Let's go. Another Peacemaker season. Wait, season 1. Season 1 already came out. Anyway, okay. Where are we? Does not go in favor of Trump more than ever before. She says it's a lie. What is the truth? The truth is what we are after. TV said, I don't think that many votes as far as fraud. What? Meaning that they're bringing the people in and they're getting enough votes from them. That's not really. They're not talking about the votes. They're talking about the seats in Congress. And they said more Hispanics voted for Trump than any other Republican. Not according to Ann Coulter. California is pretty conservative, but LA, San Diego, San Francisco are not. Did Trump really improve his share of the Latino vote? Yeah, significantly. Multiple reputable sources confirmed that Trump's share of Latino vote in 2024 was substantially higher than in previous elections. Pew Research, CNN exit polls, Bloomberg, CBS, Associated Press, PBS. Yeah. So was Ann Coulter right saying Latinos didn't support Trump more? No. The overwhelming evidence contradicts the claim. We all knew it, but just want to fact check just to be on top of it. Yeah, no, okay. So maybe that's what she's getting at, but that's not what Francis asked her. So more Hispanics voted for Trump than any Republican, but the majority of Hispanics did not vote for Trump. I would probably because the majority of Hispanics did not vote.
It's about 100 years.
Wait, didn't Hispanics break for Trump this election?
Nope.
No?
Big fat lie. They went a little bit more for the Republican. No,
what? Is that not what we just said?
It's like the rate of growth in the government.
Yeah.
No.
So that's not a lie. An exaggeration, maybe? But not a lie.
It was a huge cut rate of growth.
What was it? What was the breakdown? I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was more than usual, and there were a few areas where it seemed to matter. I forget what it was, but it was absolutely not a majority.
55% of Latino men in 2024, up significantly from his prior support.
It was a big move. I think Hispanic men might have slightly made it. Yeah. But meanwhile...
So then yes, and not a lie. Got it.
White males between the ages of 18 and 25 are like 90% Trump voters. So that's a good demographic for us. So people always talk about, and maybe it's probably the same here, but how politics will swing. There's a pendulum back and forth. And, it'll seem like Republicans totally on the upswing. Well, you get, FDR, liberal. Then we got Reagan. Seems like they're going to be around forever. Then Obama. Oh my gosh, Republican Party is finished. And it seems to swing back and forth. But
guys, don't forget about the Swogo. We are more than halfway there, and it is a peanut butter night. Let's get this dog his peanut butter. He just got back from the vet, and it was it was good, but it was a good experience. But he, that tires him out. So I would love to be able to get him some peanut butter tonight.
In the 1950s, which I wrote about with the communist stuff and Alger Hiss and Joe McCarthy,
almost like a wokey.
Is which I wrote about with the communist stuff and Alger Hiss and Joe McCarthy. If I had lived in those times,
all right, I'll give her that.
I would have thought the country's over. Our government is streaming with spies for Stalin. That would have looked pretty bad to me. And then, the Alger Hiss, not Alger Hiss, Whitaker Chambers said, I'm moving from the Communist Party to the side of truth and God, and I'm moving from the winning side to the losing side.
I was just thinking it. I was just thinking, does this count? Does this count? Does she reach the threshold of the woke right? I'm still deciding, but the fact that you said it, I think you're right.
To the side of truth and God, and I'm moving from the winning side to the losing side. He's kind of a pessimistic fellow. But no, in the end, the losing side won. So you would think you'd have, more hope that
the losing side won. What? I'm going to run that back. What does she mean?
In the winning side, not Alger Hiss, Whitaker Chambers said, I'm moving from the Communist Party to the side of truth and God, and I'm moving from the winning side to the losing side. He's kind of a pessimistic fellow. But no, in the end, the losing side won.
Okay, so we're just talking.
So you would think you'd have, more hope that you do have the pendulum swinging and as crazy as it gets. But that was with a different population. Reagan wouldn't win 1-2 landslides now with the new demographics. Look at California for your future, America. California gave us, until Trump, our two greatest Republican presidents, Richard Nixon and Donald Trump. You can't get elected dog catcher in that state anymore without being a Democrat and far left progressive Democrat. I met a girl. I hope she doesn't listen to this because she really annoyed me. Here in
honey, if she listens to you, you're not aware of it. So being annoying is not going to change just because she listens to this.
I hope she doesn't listen to this because she really annoyed me. Here in London, I sat next to her at a dinner, and she's, big social conservative. I'm big social conservative. I'm pro.
I think she was specifically talking about California
life. I mean, the whole.
Did he come out of California? He didn't come from California, did he? There wasn't even a California then, right? I don't know the time, but I think she was specifically talking about presidents that came out of California.
9 yards. But she was saying that no, she's not worried about immigration because the third worlders, the Mexicans and the Muslim, they're voting against trans and they're against abortion. And I said, okay, go to California and get your pro-life bill through. And then I'll say it can be done. Yeah, they're Catholics that are technically anti-abortion, but they don't vote on it. They vote for government benefits.
All right, really quick, guys. Really quick. I just have a personal aside that I'm going to throw into a poll. Should I put out a message saying that I'm, taking Morty to the vet. It's emergency. And then I posted the stream link in Discord. And then I posted it on YouTube. Is it petty if I am annoyed at the fact that somebody saw the post about, hey, going on with Morty, I don't know what's going on with the show. And then they DM me to say, hey, can I get the source of that Ann Coulter video when it is known to always be in the description of my video, not saying anything about Morty, and then continuing to engage in Discord discussions while I'm live. Is that petty to be annoyed by that?
Abortion, but they don't vote on it. They vote for government benefits.
So is that the real reason why you are? It's because
Yep. Hollywood used to have rules for movies and TV shows too. There was definitely at the start, maybe it wasn't ideal, but there definitely was a golden age that we are done with.
Benefits.
So is that the real reason why you are? It's because the the statement that people always say with America is that it's a nation of immigrants.
That's complete bullshit. It is used to destroy our country. It is not a nation of immigrants. It was invented.
It is a nation of immigrants. I just don't think that it should be a nation primarily of immigrants. It is a nation of immigrants.
By liberals to help destroy our country. It is a nation of British settlers. Thank you very much. And it remained a country of, well, Dutch. They didn't settle. They were more traders, whereas thank God for England's primogeniture law, where the firstborn son gets everything, which I guess you have to do on a small little island or states get broken up. But because of that, you have all these really smart second and third born sons, and they're just SOL. You have the smart girls, and they don't get anything either. So we got a lot of the really, really smart British people who came over and founded what.
Now is she going she's going back into anti-man.
What King George called that Presbyterian War.
Again, with the Presbyterian War. Why do you talk like that?
Founded what King George called that Presbyterian War. It was, the country was overwhelmingly British, Presbyterian. You had the Dutch in.
I didn't think so. That's fucking annoying. You know that I'm doing this.
New York, but like I say, they were traders. And it's an example of immigration overwhelming the Dutch. And so many British came in that the Dutch sort of lost their influence, but a lot of stuff is named after them, very important. Then I think, fair number of Germans came over. But
aren't there more Germans, though? This is what I have been.
Over time, yeah. And they used to be the largest ethnic group, though I think that's a little bit fake, because people who are descended from the British don't call themselves, I'm an English immigrant. I mean, like me, I just.
So we are just past the 2-hour mark. And as you can see, we got a little bit more to go. So the majority of their conversation here is is America a nation of immigrants? Then we've got the Democrats and what's happening in New York. And what's the one thing we're not talking about that we really should be? I'm down to just skip to the next chapter and let it ride. Or if you guys want to continue with America's not a nation of immigrants, let me know. Buck said a massive chunk of the whole human knowledge is at everyone's fingertips, and people still ask, link, please. Well, yeah, because if you have it at your fingertips, why would you want me to? If you want me to know a thing, then why would you want me to have to go and search and potentially find something else? If you have something to show me and tell me, send me the link. TV said, I think Francis just discovered that potatoes exist.
What?
Huh? Matthew said, we are all a nation of immigrants, brave immigrants that came to a country and fought to survive. You can't just show up when the hard shit is done and expect to get in if you have nothing to offer. And I'm sensitive to the distinction between immigrants and settlers, but we've kind of passed settling in America a while ago. So yeah, it's a nation of immigrants. Say that it's my bias, but yeah.
Call myself an American.
Right.
But isn't the point that people are trying to make? By the way, people say this about Britain. Britain's a nation of immigrants. Then that actually is.
Oh, it's enraging.
That is silly. And I've done articles on my Substack and videos about it. But
I mean, maybe now it's a nation. UK is a nation of immigrants, but like that wasn't built in to how the UK is supposed to operate. That's built in to how America is supposed to operate.
With America, isn't what people mean is that everyone who currently lives in America came from somewhere else. So it's less perhaps abnormal or surprising that more people are coming from somewhere else to America. I mean, like, I've traveled in America. I've probably been to at least half of the states. My sense was always that Americans are much more pro-immigration than British people are. They're very against.
Not anymore.
They're very against.
True, not so much anymore, but that's exactly what Box is saying. The process could be better. But yeah. What? Again, guys, we are past that 2-hour mark. Let's keep the party raging. I'm going to skip ahead just in case we don't get there. If we want to come back, we're at 49:30. But the Democrats and what's happening in New York seems seems to be a little bit more interesting to me.
And they block vote for their ethnicity. So ha, 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 Democrats.
The one thing that's interesting with
no, it's not excluding Indians. It's addressing the fact that there was a war and that they lost the war. And it may be, it's not like the Ukrainian Russian war, but it was warring factions. It was people coming to take over. That's what settling is. That's what conquest is. And I don't assign morality to that. I think that is as the population was growing, eventually we would need to fucking spread out, and that's nature.
Or ethnicity. So ha, 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 Democrats.
The one thing that's interesting with the Democrats is looking at what's happened in New York with Mamdani. Is that his name?
It's very hard to pronounce because in English, there's no word that has an M followed by a D. It's hard for your mouth.
Is that true? A word with an M? That's gumdrop?
Stupid.
It's hard to say, just like gumdrop. You stupid fucking bitch.
No word that has an M followed by a D. It's hard for your mouth to say anyway, but it's
Go ahead and say gumdrop.
Mamdani.
Okay, so Mamdani. Because that looks to me.
This is the kind of thing, bro. It's like, okay, it's a weird name. Sure, it's a weird fucking name. I've never heard that shit before. But the obsession with the fact that, oh, you're different. That's the wokeness. That's the woke part. We can just laugh at the fact that it's a weird sounding name. But when you have to put, oh, no, really, actually, the English language, like, shut up. You're so gay. That's such a gay thing. Oh, well, technically, it's hard because shut the fuck up. If you were right, fine. But you forgot the word gumdrop, you fucking moron.
Mamdani.
Okay, so Mamdani. Because that.
And then even if you were going to say, ma'am, don't do that. Is that hard for you to say?
Stupid.
Looks to me, and we're seeing the same type of rhetoric being used over here, which is this very hardcore, very leftist, old school leftist, I would say, which isn't about identity politics. It's going.
Boom. 212. Thank you. This is what I need. I need you guys to remind me when, I fucking cook so that afterwards I know I don't have to go through and watch the whole thing. Thank you. I definitely will clip that.
Very leftist, old school leftist, I would say, which isn't about identity politics. It's going right down to the argument of economics. It's talking about billionaires. It's talking about us and them. It's talking about inequality. Would it not be smart for the Democrats to actually attack using that type of policy and that type of rhetoric?
So this is interesting. Quamtech, this was almost identically what you were asking earlier in the show.
Yes, but only in places like New York. It will not work out in America. The working class.
I know she did that on purpose, but I do appreciate that. It's just like, it won't work. It'll work in New York, but not in America. I like that.
Like New York. It will not work out in America. The working class is definitely done with the Democrats. I think it works in New York, and that's a very smart point, because the people actually voting for Mamdani aren't the poor. It's the rich elites. They're totally down with the Communist Manifesto.
So you say it's only going to.
I can't wait. I hope he wins so that we can see, like, this generation is so far removed. Well, not even this generation, but this, like, when I say generation, I mean the voting, the entire voting block that is right now is too far away, both physically and chronologically, from any type of actual socialist crisis or anything, that I kind of want to see him in there so that New York gets worse, so that we can see, oh, that didn't work again. Honestly, I don't like him, but I hope he wins. Is it for the same reason? Mamdani, is Trump for New York City? People act like New York City's mayor is king of the world or something. I say, run the experiment. Anything different is better. I definitely disagree, but that anything is better. But I agree with run the experiment.
Be the rich elites who are going to be who are susceptible to voting for that particular type of narrative.
Well, blacks in New York, for example, overwhelmingly voted for Cuomo, and he's a complete horse's ass. So they had to overcome a lot to vote.
He killed your grandma.
Vote for him.
That's really interesting. So you don't see that as being because in the UK, that narrative, as we see with the cost of living crisis, as we see,
everything's a crisis in Britain. Whenever there's any kind of problem, it's a crisis.
Exactly.
Cost of living crisis, housing crisis, energy crisis, climate.
I mean, we get that too. The semantic obfuscation.
Crisis.
Welfare crisis.
Don't forget 99 cents. We'll keep the party raging. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Border crisis. Everything's a crisis.
So essentially, maybe that taps more into the kind of the British mind, but it seems more and more that over here, that kind of those talking points and that rhetoric is becoming normalized. But you don't see that as being more an issue in the United States.
No, that's a really smart point, and I think it is the difference between us and not only England, but all these European countries where the far left, the communist left, they actually did have the working class voting for them. And I'm pretty sure that's true of labor over here. Okay, that's never been true in the US. Reagan, it was a hard hat revolution when Nixon was president, and you had all the anti-war protesters and anti-Nixon protesters, even though he's the one who ended the war. It was the hard hats who came out into New York City and beat up the hippies. And one goddamn hippies. Mayor Lindsay, very left-wing mayor of New York. Damn, I forget who it was. Some lefty died, and he put the flag at half-mast, and the hard hat guys climbed up the flagpole and raised it to the top of the mast. They have not been putting up with this nonsense for a long time, and in fact, one of my now conservative friends was a lefty in the 60s, and with some cult-like groups, and their objective was to get the working class to support the left wing, because it had not happened before in the US. And he says, I went in to change the working class, and they changed me, and he became a huge Reaganite right winger. But our working class is not left wing.
Are you hopeful for the future of America? Because when we were talking on Saturday, you showed more optimism for the UK, which I found baffling, if I'm being honest.
I agree. There are definitely serious issues, but Europe as a whole is not doing great, and the UK specifically is not doing great.
That's tourist eyes, mate. That's what that is. That's tourist eyes. Sorry. That's tourist eyes.
Tourist eyes, Dunning-Kruger, whichever one.
No, I am more optimistic for you guys. I mean, I wish you could get Farage in a little sooner. This 4-year thing is really annoying. When I wrote Adios America I wrote it in 2000.
Again, Adios America. What is that? What is that? Is that like a Midwest twang type of thing? Like, where is she from? Listen to how she says Adios America.
It's really annoying. When I wrote Adios America
What is that? What is that? Shout out to Amanda Seals and the remunerations. Lee Atwater didn't help the GOP. Fair enough.
This 4-year thing is really annoying. When I wrote Adios America I wrote it in 2015. And back then I thought, this country is so over, but maybe we have a 10% chance of saving it. And it's my country. I love it. It's worth writing this book. And then thank God Trump read it and boy, that Mexican rapist stuff is that all over Adios America. And the day he was inaugurated, I thought I was emailing with Stephen Miller and the other.
Stephen Miller. Why are you doing that?
I was emailing with Stephen Miller and the other few simpatico people saying suddenly our hope has gone from 10% to 90% to save the country. And then we got term one and he didn't do anything. And everyone, It's down. And also Biden brought in 20 million new illegal aliens. We already had about 40 million.
But this also kind of discounts the notion that while Trump was in office doing nothing, that there wasn't a Democrat making things worse. This is what I feel like it's too easy for people to just brush aside. That, okay, I agree with you. Trump did not get a lot done in his first term. But is that better or worse than Biden being or Hillary or whoever else being in office? The whole reason that I was an ever-Trumper in the first place was because I'd been brainwashed by mainstream media that they weren't even really hiding it. Maybe I was, whatever. But I was under the impression that, okay, Hillary's not great, but that's basically Obama. So it's going to be, we'll keep the status quo. And then if Trump gets in, then the world is going to explode. But that's not at all. Well, I mean, maybe it would have been a lot more of Obama. But point being, the reason that we are where we are and not way, 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 way worse, love him or hate him, is because of Trump. Connecticut. All right. I mean, just talks weird.
What are the chances now? I don't know. Let's see if Trump and the other Republicans can keep their promises, but I think you guys are way better off. You just have to do the right stuff. Like elect Farage.
Well, I think the problem is you say do the...
Yeah, exactly. That's the Sam Harris thing. Well, if you do everything perfectly, then you guys will be better off. Yeah, no shit.
Right stuff. I look at Keir Starmer. I don't think that's going to happen. And he's going to be in power for 4 years. Now, if he's actually going to make it through those 4 years, I think it's a big question.
Even though we do tend to have very rigid rules, there could be an earlier election. It depends on what happens.
That would be fantastic.
And why do you like Farage so much?
Well, he's a leader of Brexit. He's been responsible for a long time. I went to one of his press conferences this week, and he's very good on his feet. Had great answers for everything. Also very good on free speech. With that, he was attacking that Safety Act, which instantly started showing up in my internet feed, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. You're the mother country. You're supposed to believe in free speech. But wait, how about, wasn't Trump's advice to Starmer hilarious? He's telling him basically to do everything for...
When you're the only one laughing at your jokes, it's probably not a good joke.
To Starmer, hilarious. He's telling him basically to do everything Farage is recommending.
Yeah. I mean, and then he, for good measure, he gave a few swipes against our mayor.
I loved that, but I loved him acting like he's just talking like Starmer is going to take it. You got to cut off the boats. You send them home. In the Safety Act, cut taxes, as if he's...
Hey, shout out to Boggs, keeping the party raging. We'll meet him down here. He's chilling. Of course, treat for Morty and the party rages on. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Now I'm off center. Okay, I think that's good. Thank you so very, very much, sir. That is what we are. That is 5 out of 15. Guys, 10 more of these and we hit the goal. That's $1. And we are 27 out of 50. Thank you so very, very much, guys.
Talking like Starmer is going to take it. You got to cut off the boats. You send them home. In the Safety Act, cut taxes, as if he's just, putting his arm around him, giving him some good brotherly advice. Do you know what you're talking to?
I'm sure Starmer will listen very carefully. Yeah. Take it under advisement. Yeah.
Before Anne answers the final question at the end of the interview, make sure to head over to our Substack. The link is in the description, where you'll be able to see this.
You're the only public figure I've seen point out on Bill Maher's show that when the media doesn't announce a suspect's race in the headline, we know the suspect is not white. This trend is so obvious and so racist. Why has no one else spoken out about it?
Do you think history will come to see Elon Musk as a tragic patriot?
What is your prediction for...
I feel like a lot of people have been talking about the not bringing up the race thing.
Or the candidates in the 2028 race.
JD. definitely JD.
And on the Democrats?
Oh my gosh, they are so screwed.
And we're going to head over to our Substack in a second, where our audience get to ask you their questions. You've requested questions with the C word against you, so we'll do as many of those as we can.
Well, I was just saying you don't need to edit them.
Well, we certainly won't, if there are any. But before we head on over there, what's the one thing we're not talking about that we should be?
Well,
TV, I just I just saw your message. You absolutely, I will give you a 1 month pass. You just got to join the Discord. I don't have anything else to give.
We covered probably enough to bore your audience. My number one topic the most, and then we covered my second most favorite topic, Epstein.
We skipped all the bullshit.
It doesn't have to be politics; it can be absolutely anything.
Oh, there's Sydney Sweeney. That's fantastic.
I was asking my guys earlier today, because I've not been very well last week. I've taken a week off the internet mainly. And then I came back and basically explain this to me, right? What happened is this jeans company put a blonde girl with big tits
Not exactly
in an ad.
that. I think you're just
doing her a disservice.
demeaning it. She's a pretty all-American girl.
That's what I'm saying. Great. I'm all in favor of that.
But I don't think it's the big tits.
I mean,
It's not the big tits.
That's a very female perspective.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's be honest. The boobs do play a massive part of it.
Okay.
no, let's not.
Way more than her fucking skin color. Way more than her fucking skin color. I would say if you have to boil it down to one physical feature, it's the titties. She's still hot. I agree, but she's still hot. I don't fucking care.
Not zero in on the tits.
Not she had Kamala Harris's face.
I was unnecessarily crass. They put an attractive blue-eyed blonde girl on a jeans ad, and they said she's got great jeans.
Mhm.
She does have great genes.
Playing on the word jeans, and everyone said they're Nazis.
Nazis.
Is that what happened?
Yep. No, not everyone.
Pretty much.
The so moderate and normal Democratic Party.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't even understand the leap of logic exactly. How is being blonde and blue-eyed? I mean, you're. Nah, I see where they're going.
Wait, I missed that. What?
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't even understand the leap of logic exactly. How is being blonde and blue-eyed? I mean, you're. Nah, I see where.
I feel like people are like, okay, he can be a little out there sometimes, but I feel like you have to be purposely obtuse to not see that, okay, the genes is about how she looks in general, not because she has white skin. Like, I understand why the liberals are flipping out, and American Eagle probably did that on purpose. Smart move. But to not even be able to understand that there is another interpretation of she's got great genes is, I feel like, purposely obtuse. Maybe he's just trying to poke and prod it at Anne a little bit, but I don't know. The homie with the extra Karomi. Great genes. That means you're saying others don't have good genes. They don't! They don't! I don't even know who that is. Yeah, right. I mean, I said shit. Me too.
They're going.
Exactly. Well, what's funny, I'm doubly, quadruply funny about this is basically since George Floyd, there have been no blonde models, zero. Every TV commercial, every magazine commercial, it's just black, black, blackity, black, 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 black.
Or gay. Or gay. All right. Or trans. Or fat.
And, it's 13% of the population. They're just begging people to say, what the F? So they can say, oh, does that offend you? No, but it's weird. Weird. It's just weird to say, I mean, why not have, every ad with a one-legged man? It's just weird that they're obsessed with this. And now for the first time, and if they would have someone who wasn't, obviously black, it would have to be this neutral, could be Hispanic.
Yeah, there's
Asian.
this like racially ambiguous.
Racially ambiguous. That is their favorite thing. They can fix this whole ad campaign, but doing the same bit with Lil Tay. Lil Tay. I'm not into rap. Who was Lil Tay again?
It was category now. That's
but
the one
not
that
blonde.
Yeah, I see.
Cannot be blonde.
Yeah, but why does that make them Nazis? Like, I don't get it.
Because the Democratic Party learned so much from the 2024 election.
They really haven't.
Let's try to be normal. We're trying.
Let's head over to Substack where our audience are going to call Ann names. See you there.
All right, so we're going to back up to where we were. And thanks to Box, the party's going to rage on for another 10 minutes. Guys, if you want to keep it rolling, and if you want to get Morty some peanut butter, that would make both of us very, very happy.
More.
They're very against illegal immigration, as I think they're right to be. But I don't get the sense that they're not pro-immigration. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Again, we've jumped back a little bit, and we're back into the immigration thing.
Yes. Point one, the idea that, and absolutely you travel, and it's, whoa, is it not? We're majority white is barely hanging on by its fingernail. So yes, it's happened. But when you say nation of immigrants, it sounds like, this is like a founding principle. No, this is how Teddy Kennedy and the Democrats changed the country beginning in 1970. So, I mean, you can take a really expensive bottle of wine and pour vinegar in it and then say, this wine sucks. It's a bottle of vinegar. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a bottle of wine. You poured vinegar in.
I will, if she can connect this back to her actual point and explain the analogy, I will give her that, because I'm kind of with her, but it just sounds nice. And if I had the time to break it down, then it might not be. But I'm not exactly sure if she's saying that America is the bottle of wine and the immigrants are the vinegar, or that's why I want to hear her specifically state what it is that she's saying.
Bottle of vinegar. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a bottle of wine. You poured vinegar in it. And that doesn't make it a bottle of vinegar. And you are absolutely right, much to my absolute blinding fury, that yes, they distinguish between legal immigrants, as Trump says. We love legal immigrants, just not illegal immigrants. And I mean, that was a big...
Yep, that doesn't mean that we can't stop immigration entirely for a long time because of the fact that the immigrants that we don't want here are here. Get rid of them. Let the immigrants that are here legally stay, balance out the numbers, and then in that time fix the system so that people who want to come in this country and that we want in this country can not easily, but more easily get in, and the people that we don't want here can't get in.
Big part of my book, Adios America, it wasn't about illegal immigrants. It's about immigrants. What they mean when they say this, I know.
I just feel like if you're 18 years old right now, then okay, let's, who's there's a bigger age difference between 8-year-olds and Lil Tay than there is between you and Sydney Sweeney. If we are saying that it is old men who are looking at that, then yeah, that's fucking gross and weird. But if it's kids who they were what? They were, I don't know. Let's say they were 9. Let's say they were 9 when, yeah, that's how old they would be. Duh.
Stupid.
Let's say they're the same age as Lil Tay. And as a 9-year-old, you, a 9-year-old boy, is looking at another 9-year-old girl. And you're like, ooh, she's pretty. That's not weird. 9 years later, you are both adults. And I just need to see that it is people over 25 looking at that before I'm going to say that there's anything creepy about it. Outside the actual notion that you're just putting your body out there, obviously. But how do you know that it's creepy? I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, how do you know?
It wasn't about illegal immigrants. It's about immigrants. What they mean when they say this, I know this is what they mean. Pre-1970 immigrants and post-1970 immigrants, because they're thinking of, I mean, the immigrants that came.
You mean post-1982?
End of the 18th century.
And
End of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. No, they were fantastic. Those were all still Western Europeans. So a lot of them, that's only a few generations back. So a lot of them are thinking of, their grandparents who came from Ireland or Germany or Italy. That's who they're thinking of when they say legal immigrants. They don't realize that the only difference Biden made a joke of it by saying, okay, illegal immigrants massing at our border, peasants with no skills, inability to speak English, who are instantly going to go on welfare, mug us, kill us, drive drunk, rape little girls.
Land the plane, sweetie. What the fuck are you saying?
No, you can come in legally. Biden just did that. So they're legal immigrants.
No, that's not how that works. I mean, yes, they definitely did come here, but they're not legal just because an old man who happened to be president at the time said, "Oh, that doesn't count."
Come on, man.
It's the same people. It's about 85% third world. And yes, we can take people from anywhere and assimilate them. But for one thing, assimilation is a bad word now. They act like, it's hate speech to try to assimilate people. They live in their little, they're basically creating their own ghettos within the United States. Up in Dearborn, Michigan, they have signs in Arabic. And, I like a lot of them. My senator was from Michigan, but that's crazy. In Minnesota, all the Somalians, they absolutely only vote for a Somalian.
You guys, if you weren't here, the moment after October 7th, when I saw, I believe it was that night, if not the next day, that there was an entire stadium of people waving Palestinian flags. Like, wow. Honestly, I think a lot. It's not that expensive. Isn't it like $5.99 for whatever? 18-year-olds have jobs. If they don't, they have fucking a parent's credit card for video game skins and bullshit like that. I see that whole site as people my age or older paying for nudes. Youngins know how to get that shit for free. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Maybe when we were young, it was easy to get that shit. But they fucking figured out that if you send them out, it's going to end up everywhere. I am not claiming. I also could be completely wrong. I'm just saying, before I'm going to condemn a situation, I would like to understand that it's a situation that should be condemned outside of the aspect that we want to condemn anybody for using OF.
Minnesota, all the Somalians, they absolutely only vote for a Somalian. The U.S. representative from that area, Ilhan Omar, she gives speeches. You see this huge mass of Somalians, and she's saying, "I'm here to represent the Somalian people." You're supposed to be representing America now, and that's a big problem.
She's basically the Ben Shapiro of Michigan.
Problem with bringing in you can't bring them in a tidal wave like that. You have to bring them in bit by bit, get them accustomed to American ways, which
Assimilation.
Sure. Well, I guess the reason I'm asking, I'm a first generation immigrant to this country, and I've always
me too, this country too, but
been hugely in favor of really strong assimilation.
Actually, you know what? Let's take a little side quest. Let's see. So first, let's go general. What is the average age of a customer of customers on that site? Let's see. Subscribers. That's what I'm talking about. So what do we know? So 60% of the subscriber base is under 34 years old. I'm just saying, let's slow our roll. Only IndianModels.com. What? Comprehensive breakdown. So if we go 35 to 35 plus, we have about a quarter. Yeah, the average age is 37 with a large concentration in the 25 to 44 range. So again, I mean, I think 25, if we're talking about Will-Tay specifically, 25 is on that upper edge. But 9 years ago, you were 16. So yeah, that's kind of shitty. But I don't know. So it is likely that it is as disgusting as Matthew here is proposing. It is absolutely possible. But I just feel like older men just use the hub. Like I feel like it's a younger thing to be like, oh, I need my porn to talk back to me. Like, just fucking watch a video. Use your imagination.
And I've always been hugely in favor of really strong assimilation policies, right? But didn't you have this controversial moment with Vivek, who I think you'd agree is smart and has assimilated, where you said you wouldn't vote for him because he's Indian?
Yeah, for president. I didn't say I wouldn't vote for him. I said he could be, senator. He's running for Senate now.
Why?
I'm gonna let her talk more. I'm gonna let her talk more because it's just I covered this when she did it, and it was really, now that I think about it, stupid. I believe that was the beginning. That was the birthplace of the woke right. Can you think of a more obviously woke sentiment from the right being expressed on any level of importance before Ann Coulter said, I won't vote for you because you're Indian? That's identity politics. Like the woke do.
I didn't say I wouldn't vote for him. I said he could be, senator. He's running.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you bestowed that Indians can be senators, but, not governors.
Running for Senate now.
Why can't he was born in America, right?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you vote for him for president?
Okay, look up all the presidents of India. Have they ever had a non-Indian president? Why no?
What is the concentration? What is the how many non-Indians live in India versus how many Indians live in America? Well, let's fucking run the numbers. Let's fucking run the numbers. How many non-Indians live in India per capita versus right? Non-Indians that live in versus non-whites in America. That makes sense, right? How many non-Indians live in India per capita versus, let's do by percentage. I don't know if per capita is the actual. This is, I because it's such a stupid thing. Well, India always has an Indian presence. Yeah, that's because all of them are fucking Indian. In America, we have a lot of different races. So non-Indians living in India by percentage. So Indians approximately 4.9 million foreign residents, representing just 0.4% of the total population. That means about 99.6 of the residents are Indian born. I wonder if it's going to be different in America. So we'll get non-Hispanic whites make a half. Therefore, the non-white population roughly totals 42%. That's why. Yes. Bingo. God damn it! You can't turn that button off. Stupid. That's why. And it's like I didn't know that before I just looked it up, but it's common fucking sense.
Of India. Have they ever had a non-Indian president? Why no, they haven't. Has Israel ever had a non-Israeli president? Why is my country the only country that is supposed to have, oh no, anybody can run our country?
Had an Indian prime minister.
Yeah, I don't think it went that well. And that was fairly recent.
It was fairly recent, and it didn't go well, but it wasn't because he was Indian.
Okay,
it's because his party's useless.
I wouldn't have voted for him because he's Indian. I think, and by the way, we have a natural born citizen clause for that. I mean, there is, as I explained to Vivek in his podcast, that was I really started off with a bang on that one. It was a rash decision at the last minute. All my friends oppose, and I think there's
No E in potato.
A lot of people oppose Vivek because they think of him as a scam artist and a con man. And I was thinking, well, I can't say that to him.
Unlike Donald Trump, right? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Your whole fucking thing is talking about, listen, we know that Donald Trump's vulgar and this and that and that and that and that. Oh my goodness, the NFTs and the state. But you know, Vivek, he's kind of a scam artist. Okay, bitch. Shout out to Waco Mine. Welcome to the party. She kind of puts off KKK tramp stamp vibes. I would not be surprised. Welcome to the party.
Vivek because they think of him as a scam artist and a con man. And I was thinking, well, I can't say that to him. I wouldn't.
All right, guys, let's keep that party raging.
Let's throw that one out. But I explained this to him at the time. There's a reason we have the natural born citizen clause for president.
He is a natural born citizen.
There is an idea, and I think people feel it even more now because of the massive immigrants from very, very different cultures. America, I mean, like Britain, like most countries, I guess, it has a very distinctive culture. We are the freest country in the world. Mm-hmm. Free speech is in our bones. The right to bear arms is in our bones. And when polls are taken, no matter how nice they are, immigrants overwhelmingly do not support free speech and gun rights. I mean, those are just two examples.
Doesn't Vivek support free speech and gun rights?
The point is still the same.
No, honey, it's not, because Vivek is not anybody but Vivek. In the same way that you are nobody but Ann Coulter, he is nobody but Vivek. You're just racist.
And there is the idea that over generations, it's in your bones. This is in your blood. You would die for this country.
But if you're white, then one generation's fine.
It's just second nature to believe in the right to bear arms. And yeah, immigrants can pick this up. Look, I told him
He's not an immigrant. He's not an immigrant.
I'd vote for his kids if they married an American.
But he is an American, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but he's an Indian.
But he's brown. No, he's brown.
Indian American. He is a second generation immigrant.
Okay, but what the rule about the natural?
Yeah, that's called a citizen. That's what those words mean. Second generation immigrant means that your parents immigrated to this country. You were born here. So you're the second gen. I'm a first generation American, second generation immigrant. I don't even think that's a real thing, because I didn't immigrate anywhere. I've been in Jersey since the day I was born. Well, I mean, I was born in Brooklyn, but that's a whole thing.
American. He is a second generation immigrant.
Okay, but what the rule about the natural? So I'm
using that as an analogy. I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to say that. I could have just said you're not natural born. Ted Cruz isn't natural born. I wouldn't have to explain. This is an analogy that it matters.
But the analogy doesn't fit. You're saying, I get the analogy that, hey, if you just got off the boat and you're not assimilated, then, maybe whatever. And then I'll even go a step further. If your parents got off the boat, even if you were born here, if they're not, like Americans like that, then I'm going to look at you a little sideways if you're running for president. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But when you're just bringing it up and it doesn't apply to what you're saying, then it's wokeness. No principles, just positions. This is the wokeness. Clearly.
How deep your connection is to a very distinctive culture.
But you said that's because there's certain things that are embedded in the culture, like being in favor of the First Amendment, being in favor of the Second. But Vivek is in favor of all those things, and you still wouldn't.
Well, he says that. I want it in their bones. I want the
When a white person says it, then I know it's in their bones. But, a little man living in the skin layer, and, you don't really know. You can say whatever you want. These brownies and blackies, they just be saying whatever. But white people, when you say, when you're a white person, your word is bond. Your word is bond. But these blackies, these brownies, they don't know nothing about nothing. They can say anything. You just said in this conversation that Trump was the most corrupt president ever. And then we're like, oh, well, wait, well, I don't know. Holy shit. You cannot get any more woke than this. I'm going to stand by that. I believe that interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe that was the inflection point to begin the woke right. God damn it, Ann. God damn it. Yeah, she ain't got shit. She ain't got shit. She's just saying shit. She's just saying things. Immigrants fit in just fine. Racists have a hard time, though. Well, depending on where you are. Big shout out to all of our donations tonight. Very much appreciated to all of you guys. And, of course, our sponsor, TV Viewerski. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out, guys. I know that you could be doing anything else in the world, and yet you are here hanging out with me and Morty. He's chilling over here, but he knows you're here and he appreciates it just as much as I do. Again, I know you could be doing anything, but I really think we're doing something big here, guys. We're doing something big, and it's not just about the show. Join the fucking Discord server. Am I pointing the right way, or is it this way? I don't remember. We're at the top of the chat. The link pinned. Free access. 24/7. We are in there hanging out. And you can earn membership status from the Discord without paying a dime. If you just go in there and you hang out and you talk to people, you get XP. The same way they have the top fans thing here. They have number 1, number 2. Same kind of thing. If you get up to level 15, I will just give you all of the permissions so that you can be part of the after party, all of that stuff, because that's what I really care about. Yes, I need your money to live. Unfortunately, that is how it works. Unfortunately, I can't live without money. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for you, and I'm here for America. I'm here for me. Fuck it. I'm here for me because I want to live in a better America. And I'm calling out to you because I believe you want to live in a better America. And I'm giving you an option to make sure that we can actually push that message. The video chat is in the Let Us Speak voice channel. So if you have access to the member stuff, which you can gain for tonight by just joining right now, TV Viewerski, you got a whole month out of me. Just join the thingy. It's the pinned link. But thank you so very, very much, guys. I really do appreciate all of you. Once again, we've got our little dude, Morty. He is sleeping. And I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.